The St. Louis Cardinals coming off their first shutout in 4 seasons and still a playoff contender led by this man, number 32, O.J. Anderson, in his 3rd year from Miami, a first-round draft pick back in '79. O.J. at 6'2", 220 can do it all. But the quarterback situation in St. Louis has changed. Jim Hart, the 16-year veteran, has been benched in favor of this man, the rookie from Portland State, Neil Lomax. His stats last week against the hard-hitting Buffalo Bills. Finding the speedster out of Missouri, Mel Gray, to keep that streak alive. The Cardinals with some very explosive offensive weapons. For the Baltimore Colts, it's been a disastrous year. They won their first game. They have lost 10 in a row. This man, the 9-year veteran from LSU, Burt Jones, still at the quarterbacking controls, but the question is for how long? Jones finding Zach Dixon out of the backfield for a touchdown against the Eagles, his former teammates. The Colts closed to within 7-6, but Philadelphia scored the next 24 points. The owner, Robert Irsay of Baltimore, began calling the plays himself, shuttling in the quarterbacks, Jones for a play, and then Greg Landry right here, finding Curtis Dickey, the ex-Aggie out of Texas A&M. Who will be calling the Colts plays today, the owner, the coach, or the quarterback? The Colts are confused. The Cardinals coming on next on CBS. From Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, the 1-10 Colts against the 4-7 Cardinals. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly. John Dockery, former Jet, wearer of a 1969 Super Bowl ring alongside. And John, I think with the owner calling some plays last week against Cleveland, it's left a large question mark hanging over this Colt camp all week.
There is a lot of controversy, Jim, and the confusion. As a player, you can go either of 2 ways when an owner undermines your head coach's authority. You can either go out and rally behind the coach and really play one heck of a game, or else you can lay down. We'll find out from the Colts today.
As far as the Cardinals are concerned, of course, Jim Hart is no longer the quarterback, at least for this game. Neil Lomax, the rookie from Portland State, gets the start. He's got some big offensive weapons to work with, but anytime you change quarterbacks, it causes some problems in camp.
It certainly does, but it was inevitable. Lomax is a quarterback of the future for the Cardinals, and he adds a new dimension. He has the ability to scramble, might be compared to a young Burt Jones, so maybe not the swiftness of foot or the strength of arm, but certainly one of the bright young quarterbacks in the NFL.
You look at Neil Lomax, you'll see him very quickly. The Cardinals have won the toss. They've elected to receive. The Baltimore Colts, 1-10, will kick it off. Mike Wood, number 16, about to tee it up from the Baltimore 35, and this game is underway. High end-over-end kick that stumped Mitchell, the rookie, out of the Citadel field. 5, 10, 15. Up to the 20-yard line, and the Cardinals, 4-7 under head coach Jim Hannafin, will break 1st and 10 from that point. Reggie Pinckney in there in the tackle, number 37, for the Colts of Baltimore. So, John, we'll get to see Neil Lomax, the rookie from Portland State, the first time the Cardinals touch the football.
And he has some great weapons in Mel Gray and O.J. Anderson. As you look at the offensive line, Perhaney, the center, is really the anchor of a pretty good offensive line for St. Louis.
And, of course, the veteran Dan Deerdorf at right tackle. So the rookie, Neil Lomax, the Cardinals come in 4-7. They still are very definitely in a playoff contending position. Lomax, the quarterback. O.J. Anderson in the backfield, number 32, along with Wayne Morris, number 24. Wide receivers are Gray and Tilley. 1st and 10, Cardinals from their own 20-yard line. Fumble on the play, and O.J. Anderson scoops it back up and manages to pick up about 3 yards on the carry. It'll be 2nd down and 7. So after that very strong game against the Buffalo Bills last week, O.J. bobbles the opening handoff. And again, that's the difference between a Jim Hart, who's been in there for all 3 years that O.J. has been here, as you look at the defensive line of the Baltimore Colts. A timing, John.
Timing's all important as you look at the linebackers for the Colts. And O.J. averaged 6.5 yards a carry, secondary for the Colts. Suspect problems all year long. O.J. 177 yards, coming off a really fine game. Bobbled the ball there. Let's see what happens right now.
2nd and 7, slot formation to the left side. Tilley in the slot. Straight ahead goes O.J. Anderson, close to 1st down yardage as he bucks his way across the 30-yard line. The 10-year veteran from Kentucky, Joe Fetterspiel, in there on the tackle. 6'2", 230. He came to the Colts as a free agent, and he's a good one. Flag on the play, however. You see the initial indication, holding against the Cardinals. Fred Wyatt is your referee. The umpire, Tom Hensley. Head linesman, Ed Marion. The line judge, Wilson Gossier. The back judge, Dick Hantack. The side judge is Vince Jacob. And the field judge is Bob Wortman. We'll get the official call on the culprit from Fred Wyatt in just a moment.
Holding, number 68. 2nd down.
Terry Steve, 68, the left guard, the culprit on the play. So instead of 1st down, it's now 2nd down and 13. The ball backed up all the way at the 17-yard line of the Cardinals. Wide receivers left and right. Morris and O.J. Anderson, the running backs. Lomax on his first pass of the afternoon. Safety valve to Morris. Looks for some running room. No blockers out there. Out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Derek Hatchett, number 42, in his first year from Texas, wrestled him out of bounds.
Morris on the reception.
And so important, the team that gets on top. You know, when you have a team that's beginning to grow and try and find their way, like the St. Louis Cardinals, they have to get on top to continue that string. It's ironic when you look at it. St. Louis has not won when the opposition has scored first. And conversely, Baltimore, in 7 of their 10 losses, they've been behind early. So it's all important the first few minutes of this game.
Kim Anderson, number 26, checks into the Colts secondary. They go to the nickel back, the 5 defensive backs, anticipating pass as the Cardinals look at 3rd down, 12 to go from their own 18. Slot formation to the left side. Lomax to put it up again, looks over the middle, pumps once. Now in all kinds of trouble and could maybe run for it. Got a man open is Tilley. First down and more to the 45, the 50. Tilley to the 45, the 40 of Baltimore. 30 inside the 25, 20. Tilley looks for a block and is thrown out of bounds at the 7-yard line by Larry Brazil. No penalty flags, and what a great job of scrambling by the rookie, Neil Lomax.
Jim, we mentioned it at the top of the show just moments ago. Lomax adding that extra dimension, the ability to scramble right there. Had some pressure on him, scrambled, found Pat Tilley, who's supposed to be slow. I mean, they compare him to Howard Twilley. Watch this, Lomax. Back in the pocket. He pump fakes to Roy Green. Roy Green is covered. He wants to go uptown, but to Roy Green, you see him covered downfield. Here he scrambles. Nice move to get away outside. Keeps a presence of mind and the poise to continue to look downfield. Pat Tilley does what you should as a wide receiver. Shakes loose. Takes it and runs away from some defensive backs. This really surprised me because his reputation is not one of a speedster.
1st and goal for the Cardinals at the 8-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. Just your average 75-yard pickup. O.J. Anderson off right tackle, slashes inside the 5, call it the 4-yard line for O.J. Anderson. Lomax came in completing 47 of 111 passes, good for 611 yards, about 5.5 yards per completion. That was a huge 75-yard pickup as you look at the stats on O.J. Anderson, who last week supplanted Jim Otis as the all-time leading ground gainer for the St. Louis Cardinals, and O.J. Anderson is currently 5th in the NFC in rushing. They spotted back at the 9. Check it. They spotted in at the 4-yard line. So it's 2nd down and 4. Gray to the right side. O.J. Anderson gets the call again. Touchdown, St. Louis.
Anderson for the touchdown.
Brazil in pursuit, but you can't bring him down one-on-one.
O.J. makes it look so easy as he scores his 7th touchdown of the year. And Baltimore's defense is the worst in the NFL. We can't hide that fact. They've been giving up something like 34 points a game. Here, good block by the lead man. O.J. just makes it look easy, takes it in. Not much resistance from the Baltimore Colt defense.
He just put the forearm up and ran through Brazil. Snap, spot, kick, perfect. And the Cardinals take the opening possession and they drive 80 yards. You take another look at this run by O.J. Anderson. The Cardinals break on top so quickly. The key play, of course, the 75-yard completion from a scrambling Neil Lomax to Pat Tilley to set up this touchdown run. The Cardinals lead the Colts.
Gentlemen, this meeting is called to decide which one of us is the most popular light beer drinker of all.
Must be talking about me.
I vote for my buddy, Boog Powell.
Should I take the minutes?
You can take all year.
Hey, I cast my vote for Billy Martin.
I'll second that.
Me too.
Excuse me, this chart clearly shows what a little showing off can do.
Now, wait a minute. I'm the most popular guy here.
Gentlemen, wait, a little respect. At least we agree that light beer from Miller tastes great.
Let's do it! Tastes great! Let's do it! Tastes great! Let's do it! Better make it a secret ballot.
Could we vote for Red Auerbach?
Please!
I'm voting for me.
Count the vote, and that's no joke. All right. Gentlemen, we have a winner.
Says here the winner is Bubba Smith.
I knew this was a bad idea.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
You look at that St. Louis Cardinals scoring play. Neil O'Donohue all set to kick it away. A wobbly end-over-end kick that hits at the Baltimore 10. Zach Dickren has some problems fielding the football. Finally scoops it up at the 6 and is all kinds of trouble now, but gets a block. Look out! Zachary Dixon, touchdown Colts, no flags. Stafford Mays in pursuit, but he won't get it. And the third-year man out of Temple, who had all kinds of problems fielding the football back at the 6, turned a busted play, as so often happens, into a big play. Touchdown Colts, and we said we were going to see a wide-open football game.
I think he might have gone out of bounds. I see the referee with his foot on the 42-yard line. Watch Zachary Dixon here. As a member of the kickoff team, you're coming down, you see the ball fumble. Sometimes you let up a little bit, think you're going to make the tackle, but here's Dixon does a little duking around. The kickoff team slows up ever so slightly. Then he puts a good move here, gets outside, but that push, see him step out of bounds right around the 42-yard line right there. And it's a shame, 37-yard return.
Burt Jones goes up top early, 1st and 10. Baltimore intended for Roger Carr. Jerry Butler streaking down the left side. That's Butler, who is going one-on-one on the left cornerback, number 37 for Baltimore in great pursuit. That's Kenny Green. As you look at Dixon on the sideline, let's take a look at the Baltimore Colts offense. Burt Jones, the 9-year veteran from LSU. At quarterback, Curtis Dickey, 3rd year from Texas A&M. Randy McMillan, the power back, and 2 outstanding wide receivers. There is the Baltimore Colts offensive line, doing a good job considering. And Reese McCall, a big, strong tight end. If there's a knock on Reese McCall, John, it's his inability to get off the line of scrimmage quickly.
Exactly what Mike McCormick told me the other day. One of his big problems, especially against the 3-4 defense, is he gets bumped once, he gets bumped twice, and he can't get downfield. He has to become part of the offense. As you watch Dickey.
Curtis Dickey slashes across midfield, fumbles the ball, the Cardinals, but it was out of bounds. Touch last by Curtis Dickey. The Colts retain possession. Dave Aarons, number 58, the rookie from Wisconsin, the man that chased him out of bounds. Take another look from the end zone camera at Curtis Dickey, who coughs up the ball, but not before it went out of bounds.
And you get an idea of Curtis Dickey's speed right here. He turns it on, turns it upfield, coughs up the ball, bounces around for a moment. Here comes a Cardinal. Doesn't have possession before he's out of bounds. Good call by the referee.
The initial Colt first down in the football game from the 42 of the St. Louis Cardinals. They go slot formation to the left side. Backs are split. In motion to the near side comes Ray Butler. Burt Jones on 1st and 10. Looks for Roger Carr, and he's got him out of bounds at the 37-yard line of St. Louis. Roger Carr, the 8-year speedster from Louisiana Tech. He hasn't lost a step. You saw him at practice yesterday.
Has excellent speed. As you look at the defensive line for the Cardinals, they've got some problems. One week they're rushing well. Next week they're not rushing so well. But yes, as you look at the linebackers here, Aaron's in the middle has been superb in his last 4 starts. Worley starting at the left cornerback.
12:22 left to go in quarter number 1. The Cardinals drive 80 yards and score on their first possession. The Colts now are driving. 2nd down and 4. Burt Jones to Curtis Dickey. 1st down and more. Inside the 25, the 20, the 15. He's gone. Touchdown, Baltimore. No flags.
Jim, I was just about to say that Baltimore has superb offensive weapons, game breakers at a lot of positions. Curtis Dickey, number 27, the fastest man in the NFL, runs the 40 in 4.2, and you get an idea of his superb speed and strength right here. He's not small. He's 6'1", 207 pounds. Here, the misdirection, he cuts back, gets a good lead block from his guard, cuts away from number 37, Ken Green, can't make the tackle, spins off a few people, and once Curtis Dickey gets out in the open, nobody's going to catch him. Puts the Colts right back in the game.
Mike Wood will attempt the extra point. Snap, spot, kick. We're tied 7-all. So the Colts, an awful lot of class, are coming right back. John, that could have been a very demoralizing touchdown by the Cardinals after they take the opening drive and go 80 yards with it to go out in front 7-0. But Baltimore right back in it. We'll be right back.
This roomy, inexpensive Subaru station wagon not only goes far on a gallon of gas, it also goes almost anywhere on a gallon of gas, thanks to front-wheel drive. But if you want more traction than our wagon with front-wheel drive, we suggest our wagon with on-demand four-wheel drive. Subaru, inexpensive, and built to stay that way.
MCS, stereo for the senses. See the beauty of MCS. Touch the precision controls. Hear incredible sound. Feel it move you to a realm beyond. The MCS 60-watt system with receiver and speakers is on sale at $599.85. Save $380. See it, touch it, hear it, Feel it. MCS. Stereo for the senses. Only at JCPenney.
Critics call this dam project a disaster, and you paid for it. How did the politicians push it through? We're going after the answers on the CBS Evening News Monday.
You look at the Colts scoring drive, they only used 44 seconds to go those 58 yards. The last 36, of course, on that Curtis Dickey scamper to tie things up. Mike Wood to tee it up from the 35. And back comes Stump Mitchell, who takes it at the goal line. Running room to the right side, up across the 20. 1st and 10 Cardinals from their own 22-yard line. Randy Burke, 84, in there in the tackle for the Baltimore Colts. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Baltimore Colts and the National Football League is prohibited. Elsewhere around the NFL today, the Detroit Lions still vying for a playoff spot, have that 9-0 lead over the Chicago Bears. Tampa Bay destroying Green Bay in the second quarter. Tampa Bay, of course, very much in the hunt along with the Minnesota Vikings. The battle for New Orleans. Ex-Oiler coach Bum Phillips has the Saints out in front over Houston early. In motion, Tilley to the near side. Lomax to put it up on 1st and 10. All kinds of running room. And this time the rookie coughs up the football. The Colts will get it back. 1st and 10, Baltimore at the 25 of St. Louis, and a very costly turnover, and that time the rookie and the hesitation and the mistake.
Jim Hannafin told me that one of the things that Lomax won't do is, as most young quarterbacks in the NFL, they get a little anxious when the pressure comes back there. Now that can work for you, as it did first when he hit Tilley early, or it can work against you and your quarterback not standing in, waiting for the pattern to develop. Here, Lomax gets a little bit of pressure, steps up as you should, still looking, gets more pressure, finally tackle from behind, and ball pops loose. Baltimore recovers.
Burt Jones, you know he'll go up top early and often. They come back on the counter to Reese McCall, incomplete. Jones under all kinds of pressure.
Burt Jones passing.
They had that screen set up on the counter play very well to the left side with all kinds of running room, but Reese McCall simply couldn't hang on to the football. Now the Oilers have gotten on the board against the Saints. The New York Giants, that's a surprise against Philadelphia. Philadelphia with a one-game lead over the Dallas Cowboys.
And Scott Bruner at quarterback for Phil Simms. Cincinnati doing it to Denver, 21-7 in the second quarter.
Both those teams headed for the playoffs. 2nd down and 10 from the 26-yard line. Buffalo, after getting shut out a week ago at the hands of the St. Louis Cardinals, up by 6 points. And Pittsburgh in Cleveland, on top by 9 over the Browns.
Tough place to play.
Roger Carr wide to the left side. Butler flanked out wide to the right side. Backs are split. Jones looks for Carr. Timing play. Way overthrown. Simply missed it.
Not only that, he tried to force it, which surprised me of Burt Jones. Cornerback was pushing Butler outside. He tried to get it in between the safety and the corner. Just didn't work. It wasn't there. But you know what? I get the feeling when I look at Burt Jones right here. He's been behind so often. The thing everybody on the offensive team of the Colts has told us that they've been behind. The defense hasn't done the job. They've always been coming out of a hole, and that's a difficult thing for an offense, which is very explosive. But I get the feeling Burt Jones wants to prove something today. He threw on that first drive a completion to Roger Carr, comes back, Dickey scores a touchdown. The offense and Burt Jones are out to prove something today.
There you see the stats on Burt Jones. Wide receivers left and right. 3rd and 10. Jones back in the pocket, can run for it. Now fires. Incomplete. And the Cardinals had a chance to intercept it. Way back there, number 22 for St. Louis, Roger Worley. It was intended for Randy Burke, number 84. Worley, after the deflection, had a shot at it. But now we'll see the Colts in a field goal try. There's a surprise. The Seahawks, after a demolition derby on Monday night, have gone out in front over the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City, of course, 7-4, one full game behind Denver in that AFC Western Division race.
Seattle, laughing stock of the league early, certainly has changed that image. They've really come on strong lately.
Mike Garrett will hold. Mike Wood will try the field goal. They'll spot it at the 33. It'll be a 43-yard try to put the Colts out in front by 3. He nailed it, but he missed it wide to the left side. Plenty of distance, but he shanked it, so we stay tied 7-all. And you see Mike Wood looking at it there. He can't believe that he missed that upright on the left side. So when we come back, the St. Louis Cardinals, Neil Lomax, the fumble didn't hurt. The Cardinals 7, the Baltimore Colts 7.
This This roomy, inexpensive Subaru station wagon not only goes far on a gallon of gas, it also goes almost anywhere on a gallon of gas, thanks to front-wheel drive. But if you want more traction than our wagon with front-wheel drive, we suggest our wagon with on-demand four-wheel drive. Subaru, inexpensive, and built to stay that way.
Conoco's gas-saving motor oil is the result of 60 years of innovations. 1922, Conoco introduces the motor oil additive. In 41, an additive to keep engines cleaner. Then in 54, an oil that works in all kinds of weather. And now, a gas-saving motor oil, new generation all season. From Conoco, hottest brand going.
Next Saturday, the premiere of NCAA basketball here on CBS Sports. You'll see the Wolverines of Michigan going up against the University of Arkansas Razorbacks. Next Saturday on CBS Sports, Gary Bender and Billy Packer, they've got a dandy for you. Arkansas, of course, the best winning record of any team in the United States for the past 5 years. You know who used to play ball for Arkansas?
I just heard a little bit of trivia. Pat Summerall went to, well, was on to Arkansas on a basketball scholarship.
Miller Barber, he had that great loop golf swing. He was a freshman on that team. 1st and 10 Cardinals. Pitch back, O.J. Anderson slashing over the right side, up in the vicinity of the 30-yard line. Pickup of 2. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. 11:25 left to go in quarter number 1. It's been a wild and woolly one here. Derek Hatchett, 42, the second-year man from Texas, and Sanders Shiver, 54, the 6-year veteran from Carson Newman, in there in the tackle for the Baltimore Colts. We call O.J. Anderson's number often in this football game. You can see the yardage. He is 5th behind a couple of pretty good ones there. Dorsett, Rogers, Sims, and Wilbert Montgomery of the Eagles.
And just needing 90 yards today. He's already got some of that to go over 1,000 yards for the 3rd year in a row.
O.J. Anderson with 17 100-yard games or more in his 3-year career. O.J. again sweeps the right side, not a blocker out in front. Gets across the 30 to the 31-yard line, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. A great one-on-one tackle by the USC 3rd-year man, Larry Brazile.
Larry Brazile used a shoulder block to bring down big O.J., who's 220 pounds. When he gets rolling, he is one horse to bring down. I mean, if you try and hit him high, it's over. Larry Brazile wisely cut his feet out from under him, made a nice tackle.
Who does he remind you of, O.J.? Who does he run most like that you've seen around the NFL?
He reminds me of a Mack truck coming down Route 80 about 70 miles an hour. Who does he remind me of? A little bit like Franco Harris, only a little much stronger.
Slot formation to the right side. Lomax needs 6 and more. Draw play. O.J.'s got a first down for the St. Louis Cardinals up around the 39-yard line. Joe Fetterspiel from Kentucky, the 10-year veteran, in there in the tackle along with Nesby Glasgow.
And we talk about O.J. and his 1,700-yard games, but he's also very durable. Some nice blocking up front here. He hasn't missed a game. Has started 44 straight games for the Cardinals. Big hole over on that right side. Barney Cotton in there along with Dan Deerdorf. O.J. getting a little bit of a rest. 1st and 10 Cardinals. We're tied 7-7. 9:40 left to go in quarter number 1. The ball at the 39-yard line of St. Louis. Tilley wide to the left side. Mel Gray wide to the right side. This is Gray in motion to the near side of your screen. Mel Gray keeps the streak alive. That's 113 games in which he has caught a pass. Brazile comes up quickly to make the hit.
Mel Gray on the reception.
So they took care of that. He's got his streak, 113 consecutive games. Now they can play. Watch Mel isolated coming across. A very simple play. Mel, they get him behind the other wide receiver, Tilley. Tilley just steps forward. Mel Gray takes the hitch pass, gets a few yards, and keeps that string going.
How many times when a player has a streak going, do you see him go to that safe little square out pattern? When the Eagles, Harold Carmichael had the great streak going, they always would do it. Jaworski, a quick square out to Carmichael. It takes the pressure off the receiver. Then he can relax and concentrate on running the routes a little bit more.
Exactly right. He only needs 14 more catches to tie that 127-game streak by Harold Carmichael.
Stump Mitchell on the carry, but a flag thrown by the back judge. The flag was thrown almost as far as the 75-yard pass from Neil Lomax to Pat Tilley. Mike Fultz is wearing number 72, not number 92 as he's listed on the program, and Fultz made the hit. Flag against the St. Louis Cardinals as Cardinals are beginning to back up a little bit. Neil Lomax, the starting quarterback against the Buffalo Bills. Last week he was 13 of 23, 102 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception.
Holding number 24. 2nd down.
Wayne Morris, the running back, in his 6th year from SMU. Tampa Bay continuing to pour it on Green Bay. Those Tampa Bay Buccaneers driving for a playoff spot, 5-6 in the NFC Central, along with Green Bay and the Lions. Minnesota on top, 7-4. The Vikings play tomorrow night against the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. 2nd down and 15. Lomax, look out. The Colts have got the blitz on. Lomax, incomplete. I don't think that time, Johnny, he could make up his mind who he was throwing to. Mitchell was in the vicinity, Pat Tilley in the vicinity, and he kind of threw it between both and said, somebody go get it.
And you must have confidence. Watch his blocking on Taylor. Some good blocking. Also, the blitz was picked up. Sanders Shiver was coming. It was picked up by the running back, gave Lomax a little bit extra time, but pretty good blocking by that offensive line of St. Louis, as Taylor is ridden out of the play.
Hosea Taylor is a rookie. He was an 8th-round draft pick by Baltimore. He's a rookie out of Houston and still growing, 6'5", 250. You take a look at that Colts defensive line. They've been taking a lot of heat because of the lack of pass rush, but when they come of age, they're going to be good. They're growing and learning together. 3
rookies out of 6 players on that defensive line. Mike Ozdowski, the best pass rusher out today.
How many 3rd and 17 plays do you have? Lomax fires on a bullet. He's got Pat Tilley. First down, Cardinals and more inside the 40 of Baltimore, all the way down to the 37-yard line. And again, Lomax faced with 3rd and long, goes to Pat Tilley. He had a 75-yard grab. This one picks up another first down. Derek Hatchett in there in the tackle. Take a look from the end zone as if you're Neil Lomax looking for your receiver to clear the zone.
You may say this is unfair from an old defensive back, but you cannot give this much time to anyone. Kim Anderson, number 26, had no chance to cover Pat Tilley all the way across the field. The offensive line is just doing a good job on Hosea Taylor. Watch this. Okay, he gets pushed out of the play. Lomax steps up, gets hit after he's thrown the ball, but it's a completion and a first down to Pat Tilley.
All the way down at the 37-yard line of Baltimore. 8:22. We're tied 7-all. Out wide to the left side. Pitch back to O.J. Anderson. Nothing doing. Barry Krause, still growing in his 3rd year from Alabama, 6'4", 238. A Baltimore 1st-round draft pick back in 1979 made the penetration. And that time they were keying on Otis Anderson, and they called it right.
Excellent play by Big Barry Krause, and he was the All-American, as you mentioned, at Alabama, and one of the players that they hope will be part of that defensive future for the Colts. Certainly they've been hurt. They need linebacker help, especially with Ed Simonini out of the lineup, the middle linebacker, not playing today, replaced by Federspiel.
Loss of 2 on the play. Wide to the left side. Number 84, Dave Steve. Lomax to put it up. Fires, got Steve, and he's got a first down. Fumbles the ball. Now they say incompleted pass. Steve had it. It was batted loose by Nesby Glasgow. Incompleted pass. You look at the concentration of a Neil Lomax and Jim Hannafin, concerned over in the Cardinals sideline.
Excuse me, Hannafin calls the plays from the sideline. He actually signals them in, and it's very rare in the NFL do you see a head coach actually sending a play in right here with number 25, Roy Green.
Interesting story, Roy Green. 3rd year from Henderson State. You can tell us a little bit about this, what it's like to play wide receiver and defensive back. Last week against Buffalo, he catches 1 pass on offense. He intercepts a pass on defense.
And Jim Hannafin tells me that his future, the future of Roy Green, is really on offense. He thinks he's going to be an outstanding wide receiver. Has good size, he's tough, fine hands, great body control. So Roy Green is one of the few two-way players in the NFL, but I think his future really lies on offense.
Neil Lomax a little bit confused with the play call sent in by Roy Green and by Jim Hannafin. So the Cardinals ask for a timeout. We'll be right back.
Vince Bagley, Tom Davis, and Dave Humphrey.
Subaru owners have a lot in common besides all the different models they own, with front-wheel drive or on-demand four-wheel drive. They also share a habit of trading in one Subaru for another Subaru. No leading import is higher than Subaru in owner loyalty. People stick with a car they don't get stuck with. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
There's a hungry kind of feeling, and every day it grows. You know there's so much more to you than anybody knows.
Specialist Kevin Crowley is working with tomorrow's technology in the Army's newest tank.
Be all that you can be.
The laser determines target range and feeds it to the computer.
Be all that you can be.
it's just incredible.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
Next Saturday, get into the spirit as NCAA basketball premieres on CBS Sports. Now through the National Championship. Go one-on-one with CBS Sports.
7:24 left to go in the first quarter. The Cardinals 7, the Colts 7. Live from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Jim Kelly, John Dockery with you. The line of scrimmage, the 39-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. It's third down, 12 yards to go. Roy Green has just brought the play call in after a consultation over on the bench. Neil Lomax, Jim Hannafin and company. Slot formation wide to the right side. Steve is on the outside, and Mel Gray is inside. Roy Green out wide to the left side. This is Pat Tilley in motion to the near side. Lomax, 5 receivers out, all kinds of time. He's got his man, that's Green, but he is way shy of first down yardage. Fumbles the football. Are they going to say he was down, or is it Baltimore possession? He was stripped of the football at the 32, and they are saying he is down at the 32-yard line. Nesby Glasgow, the third-year man from Washington, and how about those Huskies into the Rose Bowl, in there on the tackle.
Have to be surprised with Roy Green. He knows what it's like to be a defensive back. The thing you try to do is strip that wide receiver. That time he coughed it up, but they say going to try a field goal. They say the Cardinals retain possession, and they're going to try a field goal.
O'Donoghue will attempt a field goal.
Line of scrimmage is the 31. They'll spot it at about the 38. So you attack on 10. It's 48. O'Donoghue is 2 of 6 from this distance, trying to give the Cardinals a 3-point lead. 2 of 6 between the 40 and the 49. Whistle blew before the Cardinals showed the fake. Let's see if they use too much time. If it is, it'll back him up, presumably out of O'Donoghue range. He's 0 of 5 outside the 50. So how about that? Jim Hannafin goes for a little fakery early in the football game.
I think Jim has nothing to lose. I mean, that was the whole idea when he replaced Jim Hart at quarterback with Neil Lomax.
Delay, offense.
Shula the deep man along with Kim Anderson.
Then Hannafin felt it was inevitable that Lomax was the quarterback of the future, and that Jim Hart would have to sit down sooner or later. Certainly Hart has done so much for St. Louis, and it was a tough decision, and Jim Hart is not happy about it, but I think it was something that had to be done.
Is Carl Birdsong accurate inside the 20-yard line? Dave Shula, son of Don Shula, head coach of the Dolphins, number 85 back deep. As Donahue will angle it for the near corner, and it's a beauty. Inside the 5, no penalty flag on that. The Cardinals were trying to down it. Shula threw the block, and it'll be 1st and 10 Baltimore from the 5-yard line of the Colts. Thanksgiving Day football starts with the NFL Today, where you'll see a profile on the Dallas Cowboys' great defensive back Charlie Waters. Also a look at the oldest high school football rivalry in the nation. And then Walter Payton and the Chicago Bears take on Tony Dorsett and the Dallas Cowboys. All of the action begins at 2:30 Central Time right here on CBS.
Watch this. This is dangerous right here because he's blocking. That ball could have hit Shula.
1st and 10 Colts. Jones to put it up from the shadow of his own end zone. Looks for Roger Carr. Intercepted. Cardinals. St. Louis touchdown. Dave Aarons, the rookie from Wisconsin, his first interception, and the Cardinals go up on top again. Jones was picked off, and he never saw Aarons.
Not only that, look at Hannafin on the sidelines. He just believes in Dave Aarons, and his team is coming on, especially their defense. Last week, the shutout versus Buffalo. Now an interception to put them on top. And you get the feeling as you look at Mike McCormick that Burt Jones feels that he has to do it all himself. He throws from the shadow of his end zone. It's intercepted, puts the Colts in the hole again. He's taking the burden on his shoulders, and that may have been a wise, an unwise move.
Donahue makes it 14-7 Cardinals. Take another look at that interception by Dave Aarons, the rookie out of Wisconsin, 6'3", 228. And I don't think Burt Jones, behind his offensive line, ever saw him. The rookie from Wisconsin, and it was all green grass. Cardinals by a touchdown.
Hi, I'm Terry Steve of the St. Louis Football Cardinals. And this is a daycare center, a vital community function. That's your turn? Not only for these children, but for their working parents. Hey, how about some ice cream?
As a United Way volunteer, Terry knows that with government cuts, daycare will have to rely more heavily on voluntary dollars and resources. That communities are turning to United Way for greater support.
Well, Jack, I think that about does it.
Okay, Terry, thank you.
Oh, Miguel, we forget you. Don't cry. Jack, we're going to need one more.
One more.
What would you like, Miguel?
Chocolate.
A chocolate?
Coming right up.
How is that? Is that better? If you're like me, you want to see every kid get a chance. You wouldn't want anyone left behind or forgotten. Your support of daycare programs through your local United Way is making it possible for us to say, thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding message furnished by the National Football League. Neil O'Donohue to tee it up from the 35. Colts on the short end of a 14-7 count. Line drive kick again. Zach Dixon, who almost broke it the last time, will watch it go into the end zone and out of the end zone. And the Baltimore Colts, as tempers flare up down there between the specialty teams men. Now we'll check the flag all the way back at the 40-yard line. Fred White, the referee. 6:05 left to go in the first quarter. Football game began wild and woolly. The Cardinals took the opening possession and drove 80 yards in 4 plays. O.J. Anderson punched it over from 4 yards out, but of course the big play, a 75-yard third down pass play from Neil Donahue to Pat Tilley. John, when you played on the specialty teams, you never blocked below the waist, did you?
I never blocked, period. It's dangerous, especially with those big guys coming down on you.
So the Colts, who hurt themselves with the interception, have hurt themselves even further with this penalty. Around the NFL today, the Bears beginning to come back against the Lions. Touchdown for Chicago there. Green Bay still being shut out by Tampa Bay. The Bucs fighting for a playoff spot. Bum Phillips takes his Saints into Houston, his old team, and is up by a touchdown. The Eagles have tied it up against the Giants. Philadelphia with a 1-game lead over the Dallas Cowboys. Here's the call.
Block below the waist, number 55, first down.
Barry Krause, the third-year man from Alabama, the culprit. The Bengals over the Broncos by 3 touchdowns. The Bills rebounding from the shutout at the hands of St. Louis a week ago against the Patriots. 1st and 10, Baltimore from their own 10-yard line. Pitch back, Zach Dixon in there. Back to the line of scrimmage, gets up 5 yards. 5 of them back for the third-year man. Elsewhere around the NFL today, Pittsburgh in Cleveland, up by 2 points. That's an interesting division. And Kansas City has equalized things against Seattle. The Seahawks were up 3-0. In that AFC Central, Cincinnati is 8-3, Pittsburgh 6-5, still thinking playoff. The Browns are 5-6, and the Oilers are 5-6. High formation. Second down, 5 to go. Burt Jones works with McMillan and Dixon. Dixon close to first down yardage, but not close enough. Wrestled out of bounds up around the 17-yard line by Kenny Green, the 4-year man from Washington State, and Jeff Griffin. Now Ken Green is no relation to Roy Green.
No, and Kenny Green had a great week last week. 3 interceptions in that shutout over over Buffalo. And one of the reasons why the defense was so strong is you watch Don McCauley come into the game. Of course, he's the 11-year man out of North Carolina, number 23. And like Preston Pearson used to be with Pittsburgh and Dallas, he's the man on third down they like to send out of the backfield. As you look at Kenny Green, 3 interceptions last week. As I said, he has a total of 5 on the year to lead St. Louis.
He had a good season last week. Burt Jones works at 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Draw play. Close to first down yardage. It depends where they mark his forward progress. Looks like he just got it across the 30-yard line. Don McCauley, the 11-year veteran from North Carolina. First-round draft pick all the way back in 1971. Friend of yours.
A friend of mine, a good fellow from Long Island, had some great years here. That's only his 7th carry of the season. He's used normally as a pass receiver. He scored 28 coming into today's game for almost 300 yards. So that's a little bit of a surprise to see him run the draw play on 3rd down and get a first down.
4:50 and counting in the first quarter. 1st and 10 Colts. Zach Dixon, Randy McMillan back in there as running backs for Baltimore. Roger Carr to the right side, Butler to the left side. Carr wants Butler. Can't do it now. Scrambles out. Safety valve to Dixon. First down across the 30 up to the 32-yard line. Finally tackled by the rookie out of Utah, Jeff Griffin, and the 6-year veteran from Florida State, Lee Nelson. Take a look now at Zach Dixon in his 3rd year out of Temple, 6 feet, 204, a free agent picked up from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Burt wanted that slant. It wasn't there. He scrambles, keeps his composure, and finds Zach Dixon. Dixon, of course, had a touchdown last week, takes a big hit right there, but holds on for the first down.
Eagles like Dixon, just no place to play when you've got a Billy Canfield, a Louis Giamona, obviously a Wilbert Montgomery, the rookie like UB Oliver in the lineup. 1st and 10 Colts on the move. Inside 4 minutes of the first quarter, they trail it by a touchdown. Jones up top on first down. Safety valve again, Zach Dixon. He scampers to about the 39-yard line. Pick up a 7. It'll bring up second down and 3.
And you sense that Burt Jones may be going to a little bit different kind of passing game to keep the rush off and getting rid of it quick to his backs out of the backfield. He's just thrown twice to Dixon now. And I have to wonder where Curtis Dickey is. Of course, he had that touchdown run early, number 27. He hasn't been in the game for the last 3 or 4 plays. With Dixon in there and McCauley. Try to find out exactly where
Roger
Curtis Dickey is.
Wide to the left side, Butler to the near side. Baxter McMillan, he gets the call, and down he goes. Excellent penetration that time by number 75, Curtis Greer, the second-year man out of Michigan, 6'4", 252, a first-round draft pick back in 1980 to seal off that play very quickly. Jones seems to be going to the short passes now, not forcing his passes quite as much, and really just taking what the Cardinal defense will give him.
Oh, I think that's what you have to do against the Cardinals. They're not a big blitzing team. They like to play a lot of zone, take that short passes. McCauley's back in the game again, that third down passing game. We'll see what happens right here with Burt Jones.
Reese McCall comes out. Randy Burke, 84, the 4-year tight end from Kentucky, checks back in. So you're running back Zach Dixon and Don McCauley. Jones, 3rd and 5. Looks sideline right. Deflected at the line of scrimmage. The Colts will have to punt the ball. Good penetration again that time by Curtis Greer, 75, and Eric Williams, 55, coming from his left linebacking spot.
And Jim, you have to wonder if Burt Jones' memory. I mean, last year when St. Louis came in here, they weren't a big sack team, but yet they got to Burt Jones 12 times. That's almost a season's worth of sacks. Today, not quite as much pressure on him, but still, he might be remembering that from last year.
That was a game the Cardinals won 17-10, and that 12 sacks by the Cardinals against Baltimore ties an NFL record. All set to punt it away, Mike Garrett. Snap is good. Kick is not, however. It's a high, wobbly catch. Good, and it hits him in the helmet. Picked up by the Colts, and look out. How about that? Barry Krause fielded it as it hit number 30 in the helmet, Stump Mitchell, the rookie out of the Citadel. And there's a penalty flag all the way down at the 20-yard line.
Barry Cross on the recovery. Flag is down.
Well, the officials having a conclave at the moment to straighten this out. You see the initial indication, personal foul against the St. Louis Cardinals. Now they've backed the ball up to the 40-yard line. We will wait for the official explanation from Fred White. We will show it to you again in just a second as soon as we get the official call. The ball actually hit Stump Mitchell, John, in the helmet as he was coming up to signal for a fair catch. One of his blockers was backing up into him. It was fielded by Barry Krause, and here's the call.
The ball can only be recovered and not advanced. Personal foul, number 39, after the ball was dead. First down.
Willard Harrell, 39, the personal foul. Now here's the fair catch. Watch his blocker back up into him.
Backs right into him, right there.
In the face guard. Then it was fielded by Barry Krause, and the Colts get a big break. 1st and 10, Baltimore at the 24-yard line. Scoreboard hasn't been right all first quarter. At the 24. Fumble by Burt Jones. It's a hot potato right now. Back at the 30-yard line. Curtis Greer, the man in pursuit.
You wouldn't say this game is a work of art so far. A lot of mistakes, a lot of mental and physical errors. It's not that cold down there. I mean, maybe we have temperatures in the 40s or so. Players should be able to hold on to the ball. Just bad timing.
What did somebody say? It's not a Rembrandt. Somebody else said it's not even an Eruzione. From the 30-yard line, Butler wide to the right side. Handoff, Zach Dixon. Got a little convoy over on the right side. Picks up 5 and a nice carry down to the 25. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10, so they're right back to where they started. There is Jim Hannafin and the record of the St. Louis Cardinal head coach. Here's Zach Dixon coming right at you from ground level. So 3rd and 10, obvious passing situation. The Cardinals go to the nickel defense. Roy Green, 25, checks in. Defensive back, when the Cards do not have the football, wide receiver when he does, just like John Dockery did at Harvard.
3rd and 10 at the 25.
How'd your Crimson do yesterday against Yale?
We can't talk about it.
28-0 Eli's, I think.
You had to bring that up.
Another Ivy League championship for Carm Cozen. Burt Jones needs 10. Flag on the play. Fires complete. He's got Roger Carr inside the 10, wrestled down at the 8, but this one will come back. It'll probably be holding against the Baltimore Colts. The flag was thrown by the referee, Fred White. Here's the call, holding Baltimore. And Mike McCormick has just whipped off his headphones. That would have been a big, key Baltimore first down. Burt Jones can't believe it.
He can't believe it. And an offensive line, we spent a little time with Ken Huff, number 62 there. Fine guard, 7-year player out of North Carolina. As you look at Mike McCormick.
65, 3rd down.
That's Jimmy Moore, the offensive guard, first-year man from Ohio State. Mike McCormick and his career record.
But Ken Huff was telling us that the offensive line hasn't come as far as he would have hoped it would have come. I mean, they were expecting a very solid offensive team producing points this year. It just hasn't developed as quickly as they had hoped. Of course, when you're 1-10, nothing goes right for a team.
Randy Burke out wide to the left side. Roger Carr to the right side. Butler in the slot. Jones needed a bunch. 3rd and 20. Pump fake. Now can run. Looks for somebody, anybody to clear. Is across the line of scrimmage, will not get the first down, but does get Baltimore into field goal range. Chased out of bounds by Rush Brown, the second-year man from Ball State, a 10th-round draft pick. And that time the Cardinal containment simply wasn't there. And that's a big play by Burt Jones because it could get Baltimore 3.
Burt Jones is one of those quarterbacks that can make things happen. I mean, he can move a team on the very strength of his personality. He's that kind of a dynamic leader. Now, things in Baltimore have gone somewhat sour for Burt Jones, and who knows where his future may be. But certainly, he is one of the most capable quarterbacks in the game in his 9th year out of Louisiana State University.
41 yards.
They'll spot it at the 30. It'll be a 40-yard try for Mike Wood. He's 2 out of 4 from this distance. He's missed 1 already this afternoon. Snap, spot, kick, and this time it's good. That would have been good from 50 yards out. The Colts are back in the football game. They trail the Cardinals 14-10. When we come back, the Colts kick off to St. Louis. There are 48 seconds left to go in the first quarter. It's been a wild and woolly one. Lots of offense. It's been a hot potato at times. Some rather strange plays. The Colts have had a touchdown called back when Zach Dixon bobbled the opening kickoff. Went about 95 yards with it, then stepped out of bounds. And then there was the punt by Baltimore that hit Stump Mitchell in the helmet that led to this drive by Baltimore to pull them to within 4. Next Sunday here on CBS, the NFL Today, of course, gets things going with Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, Phyllis George, Jimmy the Greek. Then the St. Louis Cardinals and the New England Patriots. That's where we'll be. And the Atlanta Falcons will be in Houston to tangle with the Oilers. All next Sunday, a big doubleheader here on CBS.
New England Patriots, of course, one of the disappointments. I mean, a 2-9 going into today's games. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year? Many people thought New England would have been the team to win the AFC, but Russ Francis left early, and the thing has come apart.
Well, you talk about disappointments too, John. Who would have thought that these Baltimore Colts would be 1-10? We'll talk a little bit about what Mike McCormick told us as far as what turned his season around the next time the Colts get the ball. But right now you take a look at the combined yardage, rushing, receiving, and return yardage in the NFC.
Stump Mitchell, what a statistic. He's up there with some pretty fast company.
Mike Wood from the 35-yard line. Cardinals have a 4-point lead, 14-10. First quarter winding down here in Baltimore. Low end-over-end kick. Willer Harrell, 15, 25. Breaks it across the 30 on a nice return up to the 33-yard line. Randy Burke, 84, the man who chased him out of bounds. John, you talked to Jim Hannafin last night at dinner about the St. Louis Cardinals and the season they're having. It's a kind of a mixture of youth and veterans on the team. He's trying to blend it in. He made the switch. Neil Lomax was thought by some to be the quarterback of the future. Instead, he is now the quarterback of the present.
Well, I think it was always planned that Lomax one step in. I think had the season, and Jim told me this, had the season gone a little differently, had they won a few more games early, Jim Hart would still be the quarterback of the St. Louis Cardinals, but they have to play the youngsters to develop them, and that's the reason that Lomax maybe came in earlier than Hart would have liked him to come in.
From the 31 of the Cardinals, O.J. Anderson gets the call, and he's got inside blocking room up across the 36 to the 37-yard line before he is wrestled down by Herb Orbis, the 10-year veteran from Colorado, and the 10-year veteran from Kentucky, Joe Fetterspiel. You know, you talk about this Cardinal football team. They come in with a record of 4-7. They have won 2 of their last 4, however, but they've got some rather impressive wins against the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. They have not won on the road this year, nor have they won games back-to-back. They're coming off a shutout against the Buffalo Bills. They have yet to win 2 games consecutively this year.
Exactly, Jim. They've had some big wins. I mean, how did one week you beat the Dallas Cowboys 20-17, the next week you come back and lose to the Giants 14-34. We'll be back with St. Louis leading 14-10 from Memorial Stadium.
Subaru owners have a lot in common besides all the different models they own. With front-wheel drive or on-demand 4-wheel drive. They also share a habit of trading in one Subaru for another Subaru. No leading import is higher than Subaru in owner loyalty. People stick with a car they don't get stuck with. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
I'll tell you, we never realized golf was such a tough game.
Hey, it's a lot easier hitting a quarterback than a little white ball. So us Linksters drink light beer from Miller.
Not just because light tastes great, but because it's got a third less calories than a regular beer.
And it's less filling.
And you can't afford to get filled up when you're out there trying to get birdies.
Yeah, those things move awfully fast.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Opening now at Sears, a Christmas of red ribbon values. This Craftsman 49-piece mechanics tool set is just $59.99. Save 50%. And save on this Craftsman 7.5-inch circular saw with case. Or this 1-horsepower router with case. They're just $59.99 on sale now. Save 40 to 50% on these Craftsman tools. To wrap up a beautiful Christmas, you can count on Sears.
Jim Kelly, John Dockery back at Memorial Stadium here in Baltimore. That's where we stand after the first 15 minutes. St. Louis 14 and the Colts 10. Colts trying to win their 2nd game of the year, and the Cardinals still with a long shot possibility of making the playoffs. 2nd down and 4 for St. Louis from the 31. Green in motion to the far side. Otis Anderson, the running back. Neil Lomax straight ahead on a power play. And this time Otis Anderson, who carried 8 times in the first quarter for 26 yards and scored 1 touchdown, cut down by the rookie out of Houston, Hosea Taylor.
And I think, Jim, you'll see with Lomax at quarterback, the Cards are a little bit different type of team. I think you'll see more of a balanced attack, more emphasis on O.J. Anderson, less of the throwing that Jim Hart normally did at quarterback.
Earl Campbell, a 1-yard touchdown run against his former coach. 10-10, the New Orleans Saints and the Houston Oilers. Boy, would Bum Phillips like to have George Rogers and Earl Campbell in the same backfield, wouldn't he?
Be awesome.
3rd and 4, big play for the St. Louis Cardinals and for the Colt defense right now. Slot formation to the right side. Tilley's in the slot on the draw play. 1st down, Cardinals, all the way up at their own 45-yard line. Sanders Shiver in there on the hit. He chopped down Stump Mitchell, the man who tried to field the punt with his helmet. Really wasn't his fault.
What a find to get a play like Stump Mitchell in the 9th round. And one of 10 rookies on that St. Louis squad. Watch his quickness here. He's only 5'9", 188 pounds. Makes a good cut right here. Turns it upfield for the 1st down.
Good blocking by the Cardinal offensive line. Neil Lomax impressed me on that play. A lot of poise. He set up the fake very well. He didn't rush it, which some rookies might be prone to do. Cardinal 1st down at their own 42. Check it, the 47-yard line. Slot to the left. Stump Mitchell knifes his way across the 50 down to the 49-yard line. Barry Krause in there in the tackle, the 3rd-year man out of Alabama. Pickup of 3. It's 2nd down and 7. O.J. Anderson getting a rest, and Stump Mitchell picking up the slack.
You see the motion there. Lomax pitches to Stump Mitchell on the quick pitch. He gets outside, gets a good lead block, occupies the man. Stump does the rest on his own right here. Watch him fight for that extra yardage.
2nd and 5 at the Colts.
Neil Lomax in the first quarter, 5 out of 7, 123 yards. Pat Tilley, 2 key catches for 107 yards. I formation. Mitchell is the up back, and he gets the call again. Straight ahead And another first down for the Cardinals, simply power blocking over that left side. George Collins, 66. Terry Steve, 68, the 5-year man from Wisconsin, opening up a big hole for Stump Mitchell, the rookie.
He does get some good blocking. And sometimes it's hard to find as a defensive player a small back. He's only 5'9", as I said, and sometimes he's hard to see and he's ducking behind players. That time he makes good yardage for the first down.
Mitchell came into this game, 19 carries, 120 yards, averaging about 6.5 yards every time he got the football. His longest from scrimmage, 43 yards, and no touchdowns. He's in there right now working with Wayne Morris, the 6-year man from SMU. Cardinal first down at the Colt 40. Morris gets the call. Tries the right side and turned nothing into something. Picks up 4. Second down and 6 for Wayne Morris. Behind the blocking of Barney Cotton, the 3rd-year man from Nebraska, and Dan Dierdorf. Boy, it seems like the Cardinals have had Dan Dierdorf on that offensive line since you played.
Forever, 10 years from Michigan.
Hoping for a playoff spot. Lomax on first down. He's got Roy Green inside the 30. And another Cardinal first down, all the way down to the 25-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. There's Roy Green, that man again that plays offense and defense. Nesby Glasgow, 3rd-year man from Washington, in there on the hit.
But Jim, this is a giveaway. Anytime you are this far off a wide receiver, it's a giveaway. You just flip the ball out to him. Larry Brazil, number 47, is about 10 yards deep. You see him coming back up, but by that time, Green has some running room, and he needs some help from Pinckney to come over and make the tackle.
And you saw Neil Lomax throw that ball on a rope. He rifled it out there.
Strong arm, Neil Lomax. Maybe not the arm of a Bradshaw or a Burt Jones, but certainly a live arm.
O.J. Anderson, and look out. You won't bring him down with a tackle around the ankles. Inside the 25, down to the 21. Pick up a 5. It'll bring up second down and 5. Derek Hatchett in there in the tackle along with Joe Fetterspiel.
Watch O.J. make that inside move, cuts back outside, runs over one man, gets some 4 yardage, some good blocking. Watch it from the ground level here. Blocking, that's number 60 pulling, that's Barney Cotton, who's replacing Joe Bostic, pulls around the end. O.J. breaks inside, then out, and then back inside, gets 4 yards.
And the tight end over there, 89, the rookie, Greg LaFleur, another ex-Eagle. Cardinals like him, good hands. Second down and 5, little mix-up on the play. Looks like Lomax might have pivoted the wrong way, but he still managed to get the football to O.J. Anderson.
Otis Anderson carries. Sander Shiver on the stop.
You talk about Greg LaFleur, number 89, as we watch O.J. float back to the huddle, a little bewildered by that play. And LaFleur was a godsend. Doug Marsh, the number 2 draft choice in 1980, was hurt late in the preseason, and they were really stranded, the Cardinals, for a tight end. Greg LaFleur was let go by Philadelphia, and the Cardinals picked him up. He's played well for them. He's an excellent deep receiver, not the greatest blocker in the world, but certainly when Marsh comes back, they'll fight it out for the tight end spot.
Mel Gray and Roy Green to the top of your screen. Pat Tilley to the near side. Lomax on 3rd and 7. All kinds of time to throw. Takes the safety valve. Will not get the first down. Good defensive play by the Colts to shut down the alley outside the 20-yard line. Spotted at the 22. Ed Smith, 52, the 2nd-year man from Vanderbilt. And Larry Brazil came up to seal it off.
That took an awful long time to develop. He just had too much time. But the Colts are playing that soft defense. It's seek, surround, and make the tackle. I mean, it's not an aggressive defensive team. They're really kind of shell-shocked. They're last in the NFL, as I mentioned before. And last week they gave up 574 yards to Philadelphia.
They'll spot it at the 30, a 40-yard try for Donahue. 2 of 6 from outside the 40. No good. Plenty of toe, plenty of distance on it, but he missed the uprights. So Mike Wood has had some problems for the Colts. Neil O'Donoghue has missed from the Cardinals. The score stands St. Louis 14 and Baltimore 10.
The 1982 cars are here, and so are the 1982 prices. But now American Motors makes buying an 82 easier with a 10% rebate off base list prices. That's $725 off this 1982 Concorde and $1,000 off this Eagle. You can apply the cash to your down payment or get a check. A 10% rebate. Top action from American Motors.
Let the Radio Shack TRS-80 put the world of color computing into your home. Instant loading program packs turn any color TV into an exciting game arcade. And there's more. The color computer is an educational aid.
a home management tool, and up-to-the-minute electronic information service. The programmable, expandable TRS-80 color computer from $399 only at Radio Shack, your Christmas computer store.
On the CBS Tuesday night movies.
Freeze! I'm a cop!
Ed Asner and Gene Simmons have gone undercover and found each other. Now they may lose their lives in a small killing Tuesday.
Word is from the Baltimore bench that number 27 Curtis Dickey has a hip pointer and is not expected back at least this half. 8:37 left to go in the first half. Baltimore down by 4 points. And for a team, John, that is 1-10, actually has played pretty well. They could have collapsed after the Cardinals went up on top 7-0. Instead, they came back and got the equalizer.
And Jim, I was at practice on Friday. We were both there Saturday. It was a very, very quiet team, a tight team. All the controversy wearing them down. Of course, 10 losses will do that to any team. But here they're playing pretty well today.
Roger Carr on the flanker screen to the right side and maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. That play, like the one the Cardinals ran similar to it, took an awful long time to develop. There's Jim Hannafin nervously pacing the sideline. He comes in with a record of 4-7 this year, looking to rebuild. Again, Neil Lomax, whose future was expected to be in the future. The future is now, the old George Allen Washington Redskin philosophy, and he has switched quarterbacks, yanking Jim Hart. And you know, I think both teams have some controversy surrounding him. We'll pick up on that after this play. It's 2nd down and 9. Carr comes to the near side. Butler comes to the far side. Jones from the I formation. Zach Dixon to the 25 to the 27-yard line. Good gain on the play. Brings up 3rd and 3. Tackled by Roger Willie and by Eric Williams. The Colts controversy. All right, we're at camp yesterday watching the workout, trying to talk to the players about the play calling situation. Is Mike McCormick in charge? Is the quarterback in charge? Or is the owner going to call some plays? Burt Jones simply hid in the trainer's room and refused to talk about it. We tried to talk to Mr. Irsay before the game. He didn't want to talk about it. The one man who would talk about it, the coach, Mike McCormick.
And Mike McCormick, I asked him straight out, Mike, did you think about quitting? He said, yes. After last week's loss, I thought about it, but I will not quit. I will stay in Baltimore as the head coach for as long as I'm wanted.
Jones looking to get outside the containment, needs 4 yards. Man is open, and it's incomplete on a fine defensive play. That was Roger Carr, and that time Jones waited a little bit too long before pulling the trigger. Ken Green came up from his safety spot, the 4-year man from Washington State, and again, he was open, but it just took too much time.
And even Burt Jones with that great gun can't get it there in time. Green has plenty of time to react. He's covering Roger Carr very well. Easily could have intercepted that ball.
Nice camera work on that play. Actually, from that angle, it looked like it wasn't such a well-thrown ball. It was a little bit behind the receiver. Stump Mitchell, this time with no one back to back into him, awaits this punt at the 35. Wobbly, very wobbly end-over-end kick that hits at the Cardinal 45 and dies at the 43. Neil Lomax and the St. Louis Cardinals come out with that 4-point lead and 7:33 left to go. We'll talk about the Cardinal controversy when we come back. Baltimore on the short end. The Cardinals lead it by 4.
Introducing the car Cadillac owners preferred overall to a Cadillac. Introducing the 1982 Lincoln Town Car. When Cadillac owners compared DeVille to the Lincoln Town Car based on comfort, roominess, luxury, and ride, 86 out of 100 preferred the Lincoln Town Car overall. Lincoln Town Car, the car Cadillac owners preferred.
If your morning shave has turned into a nightmare, gotcha. Wake up to the exclusive twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor. Inside 3 floating heads, twin-action grips and raises hair up, then razors hair off, closer than ever. For twin blade closeness without a nick or cut, the twin-action Norelco Rotatract razor, quarter rechargeable. Because for close shaves,
there's no action like twin action.
Only the Muppet Movie offers you big-name stars and comedians acting with bears, pigs, and frogs in a fun-filled, hilarious 2-hour movie, available Wednesday.
That graphic speaks for itself. For 16 years, the young man you're looking at, Jimmy Hart from Southern Illinois, and wearing the baseball hat at the moment, one of the finest quarterbacks to play this game, replaced by the rookie from Portland State, Neil Lomax. 1st and 10 Cardinals from their own 44-yard line. And they've got a 4-point lead. Otis Anderson back in there, works with Wayne Morris. Wide receivers are split. Tilley open over the middle. Instead he goes for Mel Gray, and it's way overthrown. 11 years speedster out of Missouri could not quite catch up with that. Now back to the quarterback controversy as far as the Cardinals are concerned. You're in the midst of a struggling season. You're the head coach. You've got a promising rookie on the bench. You've got a veteran who can still play. Now you've got an unhappy veteran.
An unhappy veteran. Anytime you replace a legend like Jim Hart is in St. Louis and all the years that he's given to St. Louis, you're going to have a problem. And I dropped by last night to talk to Jim Hart, and I found a man who was angry. I mean, he's in a situation where he felt he should have been given at least one more game, the game against Buffalo. He thought the team was ready for a big win. They did win it 24-0, but he was replaced by Lomax. He thought it might have been done slightly prematurely, and he's angry.
On the draw play, sealed off very well by the Colts defense. Hosea Taylor, number 90, in there on the initial hit. 6'5", 250, an 8th-round draft pick, and they like Hosea Taylor.
They definitely do. And just getting back to Jim Hart, like a true professional, though, he's angry, and you would expect it because of that competitive instinct that he has as a great quarterback. But like any professional, he's going to be there. He's going to do his best to help Neil Lomax in calling the plays and assisting in any way possible. But he doesn't feel his career is over. If needs be, he'd like to go someplace else to play for a year or two. Feels he's healthy, feels he can contribute.
The book on Neil Lomax, 3rd down and 6. Obviously, Jim Hart still likes to play the game that he loves so much. Lomax needs 6 on 3rd down, has room to run if he wants to, rifles it behind Pat Tilley. Tilley was open. Good pursuit by number 54, Sanders Shiver, but actually the ball was thrown behind him a little bit. So the Cardinals will have to punt the ball away right now. You know, Lomax got to play earlier in the season. He was not replacing Jim Hart. Hart was injured in the opening game, and Lomax came in, didn't start that, started the following week, and then Hart came in again the rest of the way. It was difficult, I think, for Neil Lomax to prepare for that first game, the first start against Buffalo, when he had been told he would. Because they were coming off that 52-10 pasting by the Philadelphia Eagles. And that makes it tough on anybody's preparation.
And he wasn't told until Wednesday that he would be starting. As you watch the punt from the Cardinals here to Dave Shula back deep.
A booming kick. This one will go into the end zone. He kicked that one 60 yards in the air. Penalty flag thrown down at the 20-yard line. Now another flag is thrown, and it looks to be against the Cardinals. Well, the first flag is against the Cardinals.
Frustration level is very high on the Baltimore Colts and the Cardinals. I mean, they've been an up-and-down team. They've lost 7 games. The Colts have lost 10. When you're in that situation as a player, you're looking for motivation. You're frustrated. Why aren't we winning? Why aren't we doing better? You're searching for ways to keep yourself involved in the game and playing, and it's really difficult. It comes down to personal pride. It comes down to your future, as we listen to the call right now.
Personal foul, number 83, after the ball is dead, first down.
That's a dead ball foul on Tim Sherwin, the rookie out of Boston College, who might have been suckered into a rookie mistake by an older and wiser St. Louis Cardinal. So the Colts backed up in the shadow of their own goalpost. 6:29 for Burt Jones to work with here in the first half. Have that 4-point deficit to make up. We'll be right back.
I've had to write some tough things about some tough guys. But there's one guy I can't write anything bad about. His unique brand of baseball has made him a living legend. So have his commercials. They got me to try his favorite beer, light beer from Miller. Light's less filling and it really tastes great. So I bought this light for that renowned, yet humble man, Marv Thrunner.
Cheer up, Billy. One day you'll be famous just like me.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Presenting the new Toyota Supra and Dan Gurney.
To make a car comfortable and fun to drive at the same time, it takes the right stuff. The new Supra has everything where you can touch or see it. Instrumentation monitors every move. And the seat has so many adjustments, it does everything but eject you. It takes the right stuff to make a performance car comfortable.
The all-new Toyota Celica Supra.
And this is the right stuff.
Oh, what a feeling.
Supra.
Toyota.
Thanksgiving Day, feast your eyes on CBS Sports as the Chicago Bears face the Dallas Cowboys, starting with a special holiday edition of the NFL Today, live at 3:30 Eastern on CBS.
You know, John, you talk about some of the mistakes that the Colts are making as you look at the scoring in the second quarter of the Colts and their opponents. So this has been a good quarter as far as the Colts are concerned. We'll talk in just a second. 1st and 10, Baltimore from their own 10. Carr is out wide to the left side, and Butler split out to the left side. Handoff. Number 32, Randy McMillan, picks up 5, 2nd down and 5. The rookie out of Pittsburgh, whose number has really not been called that much so far in the first half.
Surprise.
Number 31, Zach Dixon.
Excuse me, Jim. Surprised me a little bit because McMillan, of course, is averaging almost 5.5 yards a carry. And with Curtis Dickey out with that hip pointer, it would seem to me McMillan would be the man, except the fact that this is a halfback-oriented offense, so you tend to stay with your game plan. And that was Dickey getting the ball more than McMillan.
Johnny, one of the many things that the Colts have been unable to do during this long losing streak is put together that long, sustained scoring drive. Reese McCall, 1st down Baltimore across the 20-yard line. Hammered after he makes the reception, but Jones saw something that time, and the Cardinal defense read it perfectly. Just took a step backwards and popped it over the middle to his huge tight end.
This is a good play by the quarterback. He actually read that McCall was open quickly. It might have been a blitz on the left-hand side. Gets it to the big man, and he picks up 1st down. McCall, I think Burt Jones has lost confidence in Reese McCall. Hasn't gone to him very often, only 14 times before that catch. And I think if you're going to have a good offense in the NFL in the 80s, you better be able to use your tight end. Reese McCall was a #1 draft choice, should be part of the offense, hasn't been.
Dixon, McMillan, the running backs. Jones to put it up on 1st and 10. Batted down at the line of scrimmage, getting his huge hands up there. Mike Dawson, the defensive tackle, 6'4", 270 in his 6th year from Arizona. You know, you take another look and you talk about the tight end as you watch the ball getting batted away here. Reese McCall is 6'6", 243, and Green is 6'3", 203. So you got a mismatch there. Anytime you can get the tight end, they could come back to that play.
I think they should come back to it. It was an interesting point. I had never heard it before, but Mike McCormick told me that McCall isn't your fastest tight end in the world, but he's 6'7" or so, and for every inch over 6'2", it takes off 1/10 of a second you need in a 40 because he doesn't have to get that much further downfield. He can just reach up his hands. I thought it was a very interesting comment that I'd never heard before.
Screenplay, Randy McMillan, 1st down and more for the Colts, up across the 37 to the 39-yard line. He was chopped down from behind. That time, Burt Jones set up the screenplay absolutely perfectly. 1st down, Baltimore, 4:45 and winding down here in the first half. Another look, and watch the pursuit by number 73, Mike Dawson, the 6-year man from Arizona. He's 6'4", 270, John, and watch the speed for a big man.
McMillan has excellent speed also. Watch here. Watch Dawson, number 73, coming from behind, pursuing, gets on top, rides him down to the ground.
Colts fans starting to come alive. I formation, Jones to air it out. Butler falls down, otherwise that would have been a completion. Butler was open down at the 41-yard line, simply turned it inside and slipped.
Interesting, that's Roger Worley. 13 years out of Missouri. He's almost as old as I am. Good coverage there, though. He's been put back in at left cornerback for Carl Allen, who is hurt. And actually, I think in the future you'll see Jeff Griffin, number 35, playing left cornerback. Hannafin told me that Griffin, the rookie out of Utah, is one of those players that should be a left cornerback. The left cornerback has to be the guy who comes up, supports the run, is really tough. Griffin is like that. I think Worley is just a stopgap measure.
From the 39-yard line of the Colts, Baltimore 2nd and 10. They trail it 14-10. Jones, look out, releases, picked off by the Cardinals, and they operate from the 41-yard line of Baltimore. And that interception was not Burt Jones's fault. It was in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, number 32, Randy McMillan, the rookie out of Pittsburgh. You see the frustration there on the face of Burt Jones. Now watch it. It goes off of McMillan's hands here, right into the waiting arms of E.J. Jr., the rookie out of Alabama, right there.
In fairness, he was shielded by Mike Dawson somewhat. That's a surprise because McMillan is leading the Colts with 42 receptions. That time he couldn't hang on. We'll be right back to Memorial Stadium.
He's got to check the engine speed, check the fuel. Now your kid can race like a pro. Magnum 440 Pro Racing with the fastest cars in the world. Real dashboard, tachometer, fuel gauge, and he controls it all. Hit the red line. That really burns gas. When he's out of gas, he's out of luck. Quick, is half a tank enough? Get back in the race and win.
Now get a $5 refund direct from Tyco when you buy the Magnum 440 Pro Racing set. See TV Guide and People for details.
With State Farm, you don't call a stranger when you need help. If you have a question about your family or personal insurance needs, or you want to report a claim, you call your State Farm agent. We're there to give you personal service. That's one of the big reasons so many families come to State Farm and stick with State Farm. It's the availability of the State Farm agent. Whether it's life, health, home, or car insurance, we're there to help.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Now through the National Championship, NCAA basketball on CBS Sports.
The Cardinals, John, with two very good rookie linebackers, each with an interception. Dave Aarons for a touchdown. E.J. Jr. came up with that. And the Cardinals operate 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line of the Baltimore Colts, leading 14-10. 4:11 left to go. Morris tries to get outside, makes a good cutback, and gets about 2 yards on a play that looked like it would be cut off. Barry Krause, the third-year man from Alabama, in there in the tackle. Now, the Colts are in the midst of a 10-game losing streak. Should they lose this afternoon, it would be 11. Burt Jones has thrown interceptions in 11 consecutive games. Last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Colt defense surrendered 574 yards, 34 first downs to the Eagles, and Philadelphia controlled the football for 41 minutes. In fact, the Eagles didn't have to punt the football away. Baltimore, conversely, on offense, got only 9 first downs and only 36 yards rushing. Lomax, pump fake, wanted to go to Tilly, comes back the other way. He's got Mel Gray open, but he doesn't get the block he needs. Now he's got all kinds of time, and he has to step out of bounds. How about that for an unusual play? He looks at Tilly over on the left side to set up the fake. Gray is open, but then he's chased out of the pocket by number 99 for the Colts, Donnell Thompson, and he couldn't get the ball to Gray. If he'd been able to look upfield to Gray, it was a touchdown.
And he does. This is one of the things that he does so well, Neil Lomax. He fakes, he pumps, he wants to come backside. This is when Gray breaks loose.
Right.
But that's number 99, Thompson. Gets a good block here from number 89. Greg LaFleur comes back, knocks off Thompson, but Lomax can't find anybody downfield and just kind of throws it away. Watch this. Number 89, Greg LaFleur, gets a good block, takes the pressure. Boy, he ought to thank him that he got big Donnell Thompson, 6'5", 260, off his back.
Cardinals got a good free agent there in Greg LaFleur, 6'4", 236, a rookie out of LSU. No place to play on the Eagles, behind number 84, Keith Trefley, and number 88, John Spagnola. Cardinals might have used too much time.
Problems you expect with a change at the quarterback. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to call the play, to set up. That time it cost him 5 yards. It's interesting, Jim, that Neil Lomax had the flu on Friday, didn't practice, wasn't feeling too well yesterday, has come back. But I talked to Hannafin and I said, well, what if Lomax doesn't recover as quickly as you hope? Well, he says, you know, we still have Jim Hart.
16 years from Southern Illinois, and the man still wants to play a lot. 3rd and 19. Colts coming out of that interception pretty well if they can hold him here. Got Mel Gray, but he misfired a little bit high down at the 25 of the Colts. Would have been enough for a first down, but the Baltimore defense, much maligned, has held.
They were playing.
The second Burt Jones interception didn't hurt them.
They were playing a 3-deep zone there. Tough play when it's 3rd and 20. Tough one to complete. Ball was fairly well thrown, but defense by number 42, Derek Hatchett, was excellent. Incompletion. Colts will get the ball back.
Dave Shula, son of Don Shula, number 85, back deep, along with number 26, Kim Anderson. As you look at St. Louis in punt formation from the end zone. Colts will come out of this with lots of time left in the clock. Angles for the sideline. Kim Anderson fields at the 6, gets a block from Shula to the 10, and down he goes at the 11. So Burt Jones on the offense trots back out to the field. 3:10 left to go in the first half. Around the NFL today, a 14-yard pass from Bill Kenny for the Chiefs to J.T. Smith. Kansas City has gone in front of Seattle 13-6 after the Seahawks had a 3-0 lead in that game. Kansas City 7-4 in the AFC West, a game behind the Denver Broncos, 8-3. Baltimore Colts have won 4 of the 7 meetings between these two teams. St. Louis has won 3 of the last 4, however, including the last 2 games in Baltimore. The most recent, 1 year ago, Cardinals 17, Colts 10. That was the game John alluded to, in which Burt Jones was sacked an NFL record-tying 12 times. Butler to the left side. the give to McMillan. They keep it on the ground. He bikes his way up across the 16-yard line. Picks up about 5. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Colts do not want to make John a costly mistake at this point deep in their own territory.
But yet, if you're the quarterback of the Baltimore Colts, Burt Jones, you have to realize that your defense is the worst in the NFL and that you can't just sit on it and hope to go in at halftime losing by a few points. You have to be productive offensively. That kind of pressure can cause mistakes.
Roger Carr wide to the left side. Butler to the far side. Zach Dixon looks for a block and turns nothing into something. Gets up near the 19-yard line. Pickup of about 2.5. Let's call it 3 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and a long 2.
The St. Louis defense, we talked a lot about the Colt defense being the worst in the league. Well, St. Louis isn't much better. They're 13th in the NFC, giving up 374 total yards a game. So Burt Jones knows that if he can get his game going, that there are some easy pickings, although St. Louis last week shut out a good offensive team in Buffalo. The week before, though, they gave up 52 points to Philadelphia. So it's really hard to figure out that defense. They're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
The crowd is booing because the Colts do not use a timeout. Burt Jones comes over to the sideline. He's not exactly in a hurry to get there. Clock is stopped at the 2-minute warning. The Colts, they'll come back. They'll be faced with 3rd and 2 and a 4-point deficit.
He was the kind of a guy who didn't expect much from today's small cars, just practicality, nothing more. Then he saw the 1982 Oldsmobile Omega and realized he'd been expecting too little. This 4-cylinder front-wheel drive Olds Omega had style. He could imagine the luxury inside, the smooth, quiet ride. Olds Omega, he smiled. Even today, there's still room to do it with style.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places. Good luck.
Holiday Inn makes me feel like a winner. That's why my team chooses Holiday Inn. No surprises. Beds always comfortable, always. Big rooms. And there's a Holiday Inn hotel near just about everywhere we play. Well, let's go call them like we see them.
You have to see them to call them. Holiday Inn is #1 in people-pleasing.
Jim Kelly, John Dockery back at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. The Colts on the short end, 14-10. They're looking at 3rd and a long 2. Burt Jones has the play call. This is a good time for maybe a little razzle-dazzle. This is what Bart Starr used to do in short yardage situation. But the Colts trailing, I think they'll play it conservatively and try to pick up the 1st down and keep the football. They are sealed off. Randy McMillan cut down behind the line of scrimmage. Coming up at halftime, scores and highlights from around the NFL today. Brett Musburger, Irv Cross, back in the news studios in New York. How about that 3rd down call?
You might question it. I mean, St. Louis figured they were coming. They got some good penetration by their defensive line, stacked up the offense. McMillan tries to go outside. No way. He's stopped. Cardinals will get the ball.
Cardinals do not take a timeout. Let the clock wind down.
They'll be in good field position. When they, after this punt, they should have it on their own side of the 50-yard line.
But why not take a timeout? Stump Mitchell is back. This is a wobbly kick that Stump will let hit at about the 50-yard line. And it'll roll inside the 45 down to about the 43-yard line of the Cardinals. Neil Lomax and St. Louis will have 1:07 left to go. And they've got a 4-point lead, 14-10 over the Baltimore Colts.
Took a good bounce for Baltimore. Stump wasn't able to field it. It was short. Wisely, he stayed away from it.
Still don't understand why the Cardinals didn't call timeout and save themselves about 25 seconds. Don't forget, on Thanksgiving Day, it all starts with the NFL today. And there'll be a very special feature on Charlie Waters, the great Cowboy defensive back. And he'd like to play in one more Super Bowl, wouldn't he?
Wouldn't he? And a matchup between 2 of the best backs in the NFL, Tony Dorsett and Walter Payton. Should be a good game.
And a look at the oldest high school football rivalry in the nation, all on the NFL today. Then the Bears and the Cowboys. O.J. Anderson on the draw play. Gets up across the 45, near the 47. Cardinals go to their hurry-up offense. They will not huddle. They called 2 or 3 plays in the huddle. Now Roy Green starts on, and now he trots off the field. Backs are split. Tilly to the wide side. Gray out wide to the left side. Lomax looks for safety valve. Fires instead to Gray, out of bounds. Missed him high. Stops the clock with 45 seconds left to go. And now they'll call 2 more plays.
Probably the hardest thing for a quarterback to learn when he comes into the NFL is the 2-minute offense. I mean, things happen in a hurry. You really have to have those plays set in your head and be able to execute on the run most difficult thing for a young quarterback.
John Dockery alongside. He wears a Super Bowl ring from the '69 New York Jets victory over the Baltimore Colts. John, who was the best when you played at running the 2-minute offense?
I mean, there were some excellent quarterbacks at doing it. Certainly, Dawson was a good one. Namath was a good one at 2 minutes. He had that great arm.
John Hadle.
John Hadle, not a bad quarterback at all.
How about George Blanda? He was probably in his 40s.
George could still play.
Lomax goes deep. He's got Tilley at the 30 to the 25. First down, Cardinals and more. Pat Tilley will go down to the 26-yard line, and the Cardinals hurry it up. Ed Smith back there on the coverage, the second-year man from Vanderbilt, a free agent, but watch the speed of Mel Tilley, who's come up with, or Pat Tilley has come up with 3 big catches this afternoon.
They clear out deep. Pat Tilley comes underneath the zone. The ball is delivered well. Tilley, watch this little move here. Whoops, stop. I got to make a U-turn here. Try and go back the other way. No dice. Let's get down to a safe spot. First down, though. Time left, 35 seconds.
Cardinal Brain Trust over on the sideline. Jim Hannafin, Neil Lomax, and interestingly enough, Jim Hart is not in your picture.
You know, Jim Hart talked to me about that a little bit. He said, look, he told Neil Lomax, if you need help, please come to me. I'm not going to be overbearing and tell you what to do either during a game or during practice. You have a coach, a head coach. You have an offensive coordinator. You have a quarterback coach. If you need help, come to me personally. Otherwise, I'm just going to lay back.
But isn't it unusual for the other team's quarterback not to be there when they're having a meeting like that?
It is unusual.
Even if you're a Jim Hannafin, wouldn't you like maybe to consult a fellow who's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for 16 years?
It's like Jim Hannafin told me. He said, right now, Jim Hart is miffed at me, and that was obvious last night when I talked to him.
Matt Tilley, 3 catches, 133 yards in the first half alone. 35 seconds left on the clock. Tilley to the far side, Gray to the near side. O.J. Anderson, the running back. Neil Lomax to put it up. Incomplete. He had Mel Gray at the 10-yard line and fired it on a rope.
Mel Gray, the intended receiver.
Looks like Mel Gray might have lost some of his concentration coming around the defensive back. The ball was on his hands, well thrown by Neil Lomax, just couldn't hold it.
Cardinals have 1 timeout left. Baltimore has all 3 of theirs, but the Cardinals have the football. Second down and 10 at the 26-yard line of Baltimore. A gray, cloudy day here in Baltimore.
Sparsely populated Memorial Stadium.
Green to the near side, Tilley to the far side. Lomax needs 10. Got Anderson open over the middle, fires. He's got him at the 20. O.J. puts a move on and is wrestled down shy of first down yardage. Now the clock is ticking down. 20, 19. Flag on the play as tempers flared over on the far sideline. Let's check the call.
Barry Krause might have been roughing up O.J. a little bit when he was getting up off him. Let's see what happens. Tells you about the frustration in the Baltimore Colt organization.
You know, this is what some of the Colts were telling us privately at practice yesterday, John. Whether it's the offense or the defense, they kind of are treading lightly with some trepidation right now, wondering when the roof is going to collapse. At what point in the game is it going to be a costly penalty? Is it going to be a fumble? Is it going to be an interception? What's going to happen to us this week?
And that's a horrible way to play. Let's watch here as O.J. comes up with it. Watch as a referee gives us the call.
Personal foul, number 55. First down.
O.J. puts a pretty good lick on Krause. And when Krause got up, he roughed up O.J. a little bit. And I think that was the call. Bad time for a personal foul. Things like that. Mistakes like that. Losing your cool. You can't do that right there. Watch here.
Take that.
Take that.
Oh, I don't know about that. 19 seconds left to go in the first half. First down, Cardinals. Lomax, straight drop, all kinds of protection, can run for it if he wants. To the 10, 5, tries to get out of bounds, will dive for it, touchdown, Cardinals. What a job by the rookie, Neil Lomax. The offensive line gave him all kinds of protection, and Lomax, I believe, is injured. The big guy gets up quickly. 6'3", 215. He took quite a hit over by our camera.
You might want to take a look at Lomax here as he fades back. He has so much time, it's outrageous. No pass rush. Here he starts to run. What number 42 does not do, Hatchett, the defensive back, he doesn't keep outside leverage, allows Lomax to get outside and score the touchdown. Had he kept outside leverage, he would have gotten help inside.
Snap, spot, kick is perfect by Neil O'Donoghue. Take another look and watch the big block here, John, by the 6-year man from SMU, Wayne Morris, who comes back just as Lomax clears the pocket. Right there. Okay, otherwise he might have been caught from behind. Big block.
But right here, you see the cornerback. Lets Lomax get outside. Can't get back out. He falls into the end zone for the touchdown. That's a mistake. You always have help inside. You're thinking about protecting the sideline and forcing that runner to cut back inside. Hatchett didn't do it. Touchdown.
So the Cardinals take advantage of a Baltimore Colt mistake, the personal foul penalty to Barry Krause, to go up by 11 points just before halftime. But if you want to take it one step further, let's go back to the 3rd and 2 call by the Colts, who used a timeout, used the 2-minute warning, and gave the ball off to Randy McMillan on a power dive that powered and poofed.
Yeah, and they don't have that kind of a dominant offensive line who can blow people off the ball, especially with the emerging line, the good defensive line for the Cardinals. So you might want to question that call, especially when you're 1-10. Is it time to gamble? Is it time to go up top and try to get points on the board?
Zach Dixon, who has had himself a very good half for the Colts back deep, awaiting this kick by Neil O'Donoghue, who rifles it into the end zone. That was 6 yards deep. He kicked it from the 35. Dixon will cover it. And so the Colts have 10 seconds with which to work. Some rumblings in the stand. Disgruntled Colts fans. Baltimore came in 15-16 against NFC opponents. By contrast, the St. Louis Cardinals were 13-19-2 against AFC opponents, and the Cardinals rebounded after that humiliating loss to Cleveland with one of their, or to Philadelphia, with one of their better games of the year, shutting out very potent Buffalo Bills. Now Baltimore will fire it. McMillan, first down, out of bounds. And no time left in half number 1.
Randy McMillan on the
St. Louis Cardinals, who have not won on the road this year, who have not put back-to-back wins together, an 11-point lead over the Baltimore Colts, who have lost 10 games in a row. We're at halftime. We'll be right back at Baltimore.
Patrol 6 to base. Patrol 6 to base. Roger, Patrol 6. Reach you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Well, it looks like this big old hole in the ground is going to be safe for another night. We'll just finish this run, and we'll be back in about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, come on home, Pete. It's Miller time.
Miller time. Time to appreciate the difference between a good beer and a great beer. Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we got the beer. Miller, tasting good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. You got the time, we got the beer. Come Miller time, we got the beer.
Radio Shack Spectacular Game Sale. 2-player electronic football on sale for $19.95. Computer controlled to kick, pass, and run. Pocket repeat on sale for $7.95. Play back to colors and sounds. Beat the computer at its own game. Championship football on sale for $14.95. Call the plays for 4 quarters of action and sound. Save from 25 to 33% on 3 exciting handheld games for your kids. Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Next weekend, get into the spirit as NCAA basketball premieres on CBS Sports. Join in the excitement next Saturday for regional action as the Michigan Wolverines, rebuilding their place in the Big Ten, take on one of the winningest teams in the country, the Arkansas Razorbacks. And the shooting skill of the Georgia Bulldogs is put to the test against the seasoned squad from the University of San Francisco. Now through the National Championship, get into the spirit with NCAA basketball and CBS Sports.
A lot of folks disguised as empty seats there in Baltimore today. More North shows than I've seen in any park in the league so far this year. But that's how badly the Colts are going, having lost 10 straight and well on their way now to number 11. Meanwhile, you can give the legend 11, you can give him 12, doesn't make any difference. Eric Hippel's getting the job done again today. This one in Soldier Field in Chicago. And Chicago getting a little angry with its teams. Here was an interception by James Hunter of the Lions, and it set up a field goal by Eddie Murray. He kicked 3 of them. How many men on the field out there? Did you count them, 12?
No, 11. 11 this time.
Now, this play with 16 seconds to go in the first half got the Bears back in it. Chicago had 0 yardage passing in the first half, but 92 yards by Todd Bell, the rookie from Ohio State. It was 9-7 at the half. But then I told you about the legend, and here he came, Irv, looking for Freddie Scott.
Great combination here. Hippo hitting Scott in full stride, takes the ball inside the 5-yard line.
And Hippo can also run. That was his specialty out at Utah State. He was the starter on that team ahead of Terry Bradshaw's brother Craig. He takes him on in, and now the Lions lead the Bears 16-7. Tampa Bay and Green Bay, it has not been a contest from the opening gong. The Buccaneers have dominated. They're going to win this one breezing. New England and Buffalo. Buffalo trying to get back on the winning track today in the AFC East, and they're up by 3 right now, 13-10 in the 4th period. New Orleans and Houston. Bum Phillips trying to make it a successful homecoming. He was counting early on George Rogers against his former buddies, the Houston Oilers. And watch now. Kenny Stabler throws it up for grabs, and Ken Bordelon, Irv, made the key defensive move in the first half.
It's really a poorly thrown ball, though. Brent Bordelon, the linebacker there, picks the ball off, setting up a scoring opportunity for the Saints. They cash in right away as Holmes powers up the middle for the score.
Now, Russell Erxleben back to punt for Bum. Watch the rush. I mean, he coughed it up, didn't he, folks? And the Oilers were all over it there. And 2 plays later, the bread and butter man, things haven't changed since Bum was there, give it to Earl inside the 10, and he powered in. And then the Saints were able to come back. They scored on a pass, and finally Ken Stabler pulled out, went 50 yards to Mike Halston, a rookie from Morgan State, 24-17 now. That sets up a dandy ending to that ball game down there. Cincinnati and Denver are supposed to be close, but the Bengals easy, 31-7, 2 touchdowns now for Big Pete Johnson. He has 13 on the season. Pittsburgh and Cleveland, it is now 25-10. The Steelers had missed 3 extra points by David Trout in that game, but they have just finally converted one, and it's 25-10. Now the Giants and the Eagles are in a tough defensive battle, tied at 10. Phil Simms is out, so Bruner is the quarterback for the Giants. And how's he doing so far?
He's doing pretty darn well. I don't have a stat so far throughout the game, Brent, but they're running the same kind of a game plan the Minnesota Vikings ran against the Eagles. Here's Danello's 12th consecutive field goal, 40 yards out.
What got the Eagles back in it?
Ball control type running and short passing. Here, Keith Prepley catches one for 6 yards for the score. Pretty steady tight end.
How about this over the top?
Well, get there any kind of way you can, right?
I can't believe your Eagles are tied right now with the Giants at 10. Seattle and Kansas City. Seattle was up by 3, but the Chiefs have come on strong, and now they lead that one 20-6. And of course, the game you are watching here on CBS, the St. Louis Cardinals 21, the Baltimore Colts 10. That is at the half. And the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Coming Tuesday, the action-packed premiere of Simon & Simon. They're brothers, dedicated to helping others.
My.
And private detectives.
My name is A.J. Simon. We're detectives.
Detectives?
Where'd you get the badge? Dime store.
Struggling to start their very own agency.
Who are those guys?
And when the action starts, they'll hang in to the end.
We do get good results. Yes, we do.
Simon & Simon, premiering Tuesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Every football season is filled with joy and fears, but as Pat O'Brien tells us, it can be music to the ears.
It is a typical Sunday in a typical neighborhood in Neenah, Wisconsin. Former school teacher Keith Irish is bringing home snacks to eat while watching the Sunday game.
And a play action, they're looking to throw. Harlan Huckabee has a touchdown, Green Bay.
Heads up play.
He's watching with his partners from Irish Sax Studio, whose newest venture is singing sports highlights.
But the Packers quickly come right back.
But the Packers quickly come right back. On a pass to the left and left.
I mean, when you tell somebody you're singing sports highlights, they think you're nuts. They really do.
Are you?
Yes.
But when you have a peculiar mind and a peculiar personality, you find yourself doing peculiar things. Yeah, you can fill that up.
Peculiar? Not so perhaps when 6 major cities are customers, including San Francisco.
Now you're playing the Browns today, right? You're in San Francisco today.
But today's game is Bears-Packers, and it's time to come up with some lyrics.
Whitehurst and Huckleberry for yards.
They always call him Huckleberry.
You see, it's too bad a touchdown isn't 5 points because we could say Huckleberry picks up a fin.
2 touchdown passes, haven't they been both Huckleberry?
Then Huckleberry Finn. Oh, Huckleberry Finn.
Then Huckleberry finishes off the drive.
That's what I have. Let's go see if it works.
Then Huckleberry hounds the Bears one more time. 14-10, the Packers have the lead. That's Huckleberry. We know.
I think players' names are one of the things that makes the job fascinating. We sent Plunkett off on a touchdown junket once. We did a tippy canoe in Tyler's Through when we played the Rams. And a Lynn Dickety split once when he scrambled, which he doesn't do often. He can't.
The singing is done by an unlikely group, a former teacher, a secretary, an electronics salesman, and that's in Wisconsin.
Back at 10:45.
The editing is done in one of the contract cities, in this case, Chicago, where last week's game highlighted, even in defeat, Walter Payton.
The Bears claw back in the second half. McCoy interferes. It takes the Bears 3 times to get in gear. But Walter Payton finally breaks, left on a sweep. The Packers lead 21-17.
They work late in Wisconsin, and you might think that jingle would get old and they'd go home.
So let's go back. Let's give us one more shot.
But it doesn't work that way around here because there are other cities, other teams, other fans waiting to hear the singing version of their favorite game today. In fact, Keith is in an office here double-checking some highlights from Minnesota, and he'll put some lyrics to those for another tune. Keith and the rest of them will stay up most of this night, grab a few hours of sleep, get up tomorrow morning, and start over again. But they don't care that much. That's why they got into show business.
I'm surprised every morning now when I get up and realize that we are actually pulling this off.
That's Huckleberry. I know.
Pat O'Brien, CBS Sports, Neenah, Wisconsin.
Cross over the bridge. What could they have done with you in your playing days?
My singing voice? What do you think?
Right. The NFL Today continues on CBS.
Back at Baltimore Memorial Stadium, you see the score. We're at halftime. The Cardinals, with a record of 4-7, up by 11 points over the Baltimore Colts, who have lost 10 consecutive games after winning the opening game of the season. Hello again, everybody. Jim Kelly, along with former New York Jet John Dockery alongside. John, you wear a Super Bowl ring from 1969. They might be able to use you, the Colts down there right now. They could get next to nothing going as far as offense went in the first half after they came right back and showed a lot of class and character. The Cardinals took the opening kickoff. They went right down, 4 plays. They drove 80 yards. O.J. Anderson punched it over from 4 yards out. The kick by O'Donohue was good, and it was 7-0 in favor of the Cardinals. The Colts came right back. A 36-yard touchdown run by Curtis Dickey to tie things up 7-all, but then Dickey left with a hip pointer. It's unknown whether or not he'll be able to play. Him missing from the Colts offense definitely hurt the Baltimore chances in the first half, and if he's gone in the second half, go ahead.
I totally agree, Jim, that Dickey is the biggest loss for the Colts, and certainly Burt Jones is not having a great day. He's thrown 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown by the Cardinals. I think the loss of Dickey is a severe blow to the Colts. Burt Jones certainly has to pick it up. Who knows? We might even see Greg Landry last week. If the Cards score another touchdown and Baltimore gets further behind, who knows what will happen in this strange town where an owner sometimes calls plays and takes it over for the head coach. So I don't know about the second half. Certainly Baltimore has to put it up. Jones has to be inspired.
Well, you take a look at the situation right now, we might expect that Greg Landry would be in there later in the second half. In any event, we'll have the kickoff coming up with the Cardinals on top by 11 over the Baltimore Colts.
I can't see a thing, Stan. Did you turn on the windshield wipers? Of course I did. See? No, I can't. Obviously. We need new wipers. We obviously need new wipers.
Replace your old blades at least once a year with Anco, with specially formulated natural rubber for a smooth, clean wiping action.
That's a lot better, Ollie. Certainly is. Let's drive on. Not too fast, Ollie. Might be a school zone.
Right Guard knows a man needs all the protection he can get. That's why Right Guard Solid has an action-triggered formula. Triggered to release protection when your body needs it most. So the more you sweat, the more protection you get. Right Guard action-triggered formula. helps keep you dry and odor-free all day. Right Guard Antiperspirant Solid. The more you sweat, the more protection you get.
Opening now at Sears, a Christmas of red ribbon values.
Joan has a garage door opener. So does Shirley. But when Shirley's light goes out like some, Joan stays on a full 4.5 minutes because hers is a Sears premium garage door opener. Besides the light, it has a vacation security switch, over 19,000 security codes, and it's now on sale for just $159.99.
To wrap up a beautiful Christmas, you can count on Sears.
Back live at Memorial Stadium here in Baltimore on a chilly, crisp winter afternoon. Gray overcast skies prevailing, and certainly things are gray and overcast for the Colts, who trail the Cardinals by 11. Just about set to set this second stanza for you. And John, when you speculate at what point perhaps Mr. Irsay, the owner of the Colts, might begin to shuttle in plays again, you would think it would be when the Colts are out of the game, as they were last week against the Philadelphia Eagles after the Eagles scored 24 unanswered points against Baltimore.
Certainly, as you look at the halftime stats, time of possession, the Cards had it for almost 18 minutes. Colts for only about 12 minutes. Total yards, 247 for the Cards, 167 for the Colts. It's been mistakes. 2 Burt Jones touchdown, interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown. A loss of Curtis Dickey, the big problems for the Colts. Certainly they're still in this game, but they have to get something going very, very early.
Interesting, too, when you talk about the Colts quarterback situation, as we watch Neil O'Donoghue bring the foot to it from the 35, and Zach Dixon field it at the goal line. 10, 15, and another fine return by Zach Dixon up near the 19-yard line. When you look at the Colts quarterback situation, John, you've got a Burt Jones in his 9th year from LSU as the number 1. You've got a Greg Landry in his 14th year, Landry is, from Massachusetts. You do not have a Neil Lomax. You don't have a young Colt quarterback to bring in for training. And with the fact that Greg Landry has been around for 14 years, Jones in the option year of his contract, many feel that he will not be in a Colt uniform next year. You don't have a quarterback you can groom.
I know, and there's been speculation, and Burt Jones has joked about it at practice the other day. Get a picture of me now because you may not see me in this uniform in the future. Who knows what's going to happen? Right now, he's so far down, Burt Jones, that the 1-10 record is affecting him very adversely. Who knows what will happen after the season? Certainly, the cloud is hanging over Mike McCormick's head in his 2nd year as head coach. Last year he was 7-9. This year it's a disaster. I think Irsay, as you said, Jim, has already told him that his assistant coaches probably wouldn't be back. He hasn't said anything about McCormick. That affects Jones and the team. But yeah, that's good speculation. Who will be the quarterback if Jones doesn't return?
That last pass completion to Randy McMillan picked up 5 yards. It's 2nd down and 5. Carr to the near side, Butler to the top of your screen. Zach Dixon gets the call again, a Baltimore Colt first down. Finally wrestled down by Bob Pollard in his 11th year. Traded from the New Orleans Saints way back in 1978. Around the NFL today, speaking of the New Orleans Saints, Bum Phillips has his team out in front over his old team, 24-17. Giants and Eagles tied up 10 all in the 3rd. Cincinnati 28-7 over Denver. That's at the half. In the 4th, Patriots are creeping back against Buffalo. 13-10. Bills are on top in that one. In the 3rd, 18-10. Pittsburgh on top over the Browns. That game's in Cleveland. Kansas City 13-6 over Seattle at the half. In the 4th, Tampa Bay 30, Green Bay nothing. And you talk about Mike McCormick's future, one would have to speculate as to the future of Bart Starr in Green Bay. One other score, the Lions 16, the Chicago Bears 7. That game now moving into the 4th quarter.
Don't tell me the Lions are going to finally win a game on the road. I mean, they were 5-0 at home, but they were 0-6 on the road. It looks like they're finally going to win one on the road after that big win with 12 men on the field versus Dallas last week.
They say Zach Dixon was shy of the first down by about the length of the football, so the Colts will go with a double tight end. Tim Sherwin, Reese McCall, and Randy McMillan gets near the 30-yard line, and apparently, say the Colts, has the first down. They will unpile, and we'll wait for the official indication from Fred White, the referee. 13:22 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Early opening. Tim Sherwin checks out. He's the rookie out of Boston College, a 4th-round draft pick from 1981. And Roger Carr moves back in at wide receiver.
I had a talking to Jim Hannafin and asking him how far away were the St. Louis Cardinals from being a real playoff contending team. He thought maybe 2 or 3 players help at the cornerback and on defense, maybe a big pass rusher might make them in a year or 2 a real playoff contending team. They do have some good young talent with Anderson and Lomax. As you watch referee get that first down, Colts get the first down.
Let's see if we can find out how the Colts are doing in the first down department, because last week against the Eagles, Baltimore managed only 9 first downs the entire game and 36 yards on the ground. They had 7 in the first half, so they have 8 for the football game. And on the ground rushing, just 92 yards for the Colts. Burt Jones looks to the far side, goes way up top for Butler, streaking down, incomplete. He got one hand on it, and he had his man beaten, Roger Worley, the 13-year veteran from Missouri. Jones had that one right on the money. Take another look.
I mean, Jones used to have that reputation when he first came into the league a lot of years ago, some 9 years ago, as the mad bomber. Here he tries to go up top. He throws the long ball as well as any quarterback. It looked like Ray Butler may have been a little bit casual, thinking the ball was going to be overthrown. It was there and catchable.
Gave it the one-handed effort. There are the stats on Burt Jones this afternoon. 2nd down and 10. Butler to the top of your screen. Carr to the near side. Inside handoff. Randy McMillan turns the corner. Almost stripped of the football. Gets up to the 35. Picks up 6. Brings up 3rd down and 4. In the 4th quarter, how about this? The New York Giants 20. The Philadelphia Eagles 10. Now the Eagles had a game lead over the Dallas Cowboys. Philadelphia went into that game with a record of 9 wins and 2 losses. So if the Eagles lose, they would drop to 9-3. Dallas at 8-3 going into their game later today. And the Giants are still in the playoff picture. If they win, they would up their record to 6-6. And how about this one? The Saints up by 10 against New Orleans in the 4th quarter.
Are you sure you don't have that Giants score backwards? That's incredible, especially Scott Bruno replacing Phil Simms at quarterback. As Don McCauley comes out of the backfield, the thing he does so well, makes the catch for the first down. That's amazing, the New York Giants. I mean, Philadelphia, a lot of people argue.
Particularly the Cowboys. And we saw what Minnesota did to them up in Bloomington. Carr to the near side. Check it. Butler to the near side. Carr to the top of the screen. 1st and 10. Burt Jones. Rifle arm. He's got Roger Carr. He can't hang on at the 35 of the Cardinals. That pass was right on the money. Burt Jones laid it right in the breadbasket. And you will not see Roger Carr drop that pass too often.
Roger Carr, 8 years out of Louisiana Tech. Watch Burt Jones. If anyone thinks Burt Jones is through, just take a look at this play. Watch the strength of his arm. This ball goes out there on a line, very little time for defensive back to react. I think they might be picking on old Roger. What do you think? Roger Worley, number 22, hasn't played that much this season in there at cornerback.
2nd down and 10 now from the 42-yard line of the Colts. Burt Jones to put it up. Timing play. Got Roger Carr. 1st down, Baltimore down at the 41-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. And that time, Roger Carr simply lulled the cornerback asleep.
Not only that, Burt Jones looked away to the other side, read that they were rolling up the zone to the opposite side. Watch him look, reads the coverage, sees they're rolling, and he just throws perfect timing over the defensive back. Roger runs underneath it right by the sideline. That's how you draw it up on the blackboard. Perfect play.
1st down, 11:30 left to go in quarter number 3. Butler to the near side. Carr to the top of the screen. Jones has the Colts offense cranked up now. Look out. Sets up the screen. Randy McMillan to the 40 down to the 35. 1st down and more. Colts driving inside the Cardinal 30-yard line down to the 29-yard line of St. Louis. Jeff Griffin, the rookie out of Utah, finally threw him out of bounds, but not before Baltimore picks up another 1st down.
Exactly, Jim, and you finally get a sense of some kind of a consistent, coordinated drive by the Baltimore Colts. Not isolated plays like Dickey going 36 for a touchdown, but smart play calling. A pass and then a screen. McMillan taking the screen, showing some good, his 4.5 speed, taking it up, getting the 1st down for Baltimore.
And right now, Burt Jones appears to be calling his own plays. They are not being shuttled in from the bench or upstairs. From the 29-yard line of St. Louis. Zach Dixon. inside the 10. He picks up 20 yards. Jeff Griffin saved the touchdown. Zach Dixon from Temple, 6 feet, 204, explodes, and watch the hole that the left side of the Colt offensive line opens up.
Donaldson, exactly. Number 53 does a good job on the middleman. Dixon does the rest. Shows some good speed jumping up through the hole and getting the first down.
Dixon now 7 carries, 45 yards. Burt Jones to Zach Dixon, sweeping right, gets a key block. Inside the 5, wrestled out of bounds at the 4, and the Colts are knocking at the door. Ken Huff, number 62, the right guard, clearing out the side, the 6'5", 253-pounder from North Carolina, a nervous coach of the Cardinals.
Exactly. He's taking out an extra piece of gum. Nice block by Ken Huff.
Word from the bench now, Curtis Dickey will not return with a hip pointer. And also for the Colts from the left guard, number 61, Robert Pratt, the 8-year veteran from North Carolina, is also out. Neither will return, so the Colts banged up on offense as well as defense. 2nd down and 4. Touchdown, Baltimore, Roger Carr. Burt Jones had it right on the money. And the Colts climbing back into the football game. Well, John, just as they did after the Cardinals took the opening possession and went 80 yards for an initial score, Baltimore came back to tie it up 7-7. The Colts had a little chat with themselves at halftime and came out and they take the opening possession and drive down the score.
Burt Jones wants to go to Roger Carr. They've played together a long time. Roger bumps off Roger Worley. There was actually some contact down there. Comes to the inside. Jones delivers the touchdown.
Mike Wood to try to pull Baltimore to within 4. He does. 10:35 left to go in the 3rd quarter. The Colts take the opening drive. Take an isolated shot now of Roger Carr. You can't defend Roger Carr on this little post pattern. And the ball was just laid in there perfectly by Burt Jones. So the Colts trail it by 4. The Cardinals get the kickoff when we come back.
The engineers of Mercedes-Benz have created an advanced diesel power system. Its heart, this compact turbocharger. And this system has just transformed 2 more diesels into high-performance turbo diesels. Mercedes-Benz unleashes the 300D sedan and the 300 CD coupe. Now with 45% more power. The 300D sedan and the 300 CD coupe. The 2 newest turbo diesels from Mercedes-Benz.
This is the automatic Olympus OM2. OM2. Top of a new world of single-lens reflexes. Sophisticated, precise, world's first camera to measure light off the film for electronically accurate exposures. The revolutionary OM2. Olympus, camera of professionals, of all who demand no less than excellence. Take no pictures less than great. Olympus OM2, excellence by design.
Tonight, a 3-hour CBS special movie presentation. It's Walt Disney's Academy Award-winning hit, Mary Poppins.
Mike Wood to tee it up from the 35-yard line of Baltimore. Back deep, the rookie, Stump Mitchell. He will not field it. A wobbly kick, scooped up by Willard Harrell, the rookie. Up to the 30. Will try to get outside the containment. Chopped down at the 33-yard line. A fine tackle by Ricky Jones, backup linebacker for the Baltimore Colts, and Neil Lomax and company, who scored just before the end of the first half to take an 11-point lead. I've seen that cut down to 4 points, 21-17. They'll start 1st and 10 at the 33. You see the first half stats on the rookie from Portland State.
You know, we mentioned injury, and sometimes injury is proportional to your losing. Players going out there, worrying about their highs, not having the motivation to go all out. The Colts, again, injured. Defensive line is injured. A couple of other injuries, Pratt and Dickey today. Sometimes that just comes with losing.
Otis Anderson across the 40, a pickup of 8. It'll bring up 2nd down and 2. Cut down by the 3rd-year veteran from Washington, Nesby Glasgow, 5'11", 185, an 8th-round draft pick from 1979. The running backs for the Cardinals, O.J. Anderson, 32, Wayne Morris, 24. Pat Tilley, who had an absolutely sensational first half, in there at one of the wide receiver spots, number 83. And Mel Gray, number 85, is the other wide receiver. When they go to 3, Roy Green, 25, who also doubles as a defensive back, will come in. They show the I formation. Gray to the top of your screen, Tilley to the near side. Morris, first down, St. Louis, as he just bowls his way down to the Baltimore 45-yard line. Huge hole over on the right side. And again, that's Barney Cotton, number 60, Dan Dierdorf, 72. Check out the blocking.
Some great blocking. Look at that hole. Jim Kelly, you could have ran through that hole for a first down.
Tom Brahaney, the center, the 9-year tank from Oklahoma, 6'2", 250. Fifth-round draft pick from 1973. Anchoring things in the center of that Cardinal offensive line. And again, John, the mixture of youth and the veterans.
That's one of the problems that Baltimore's have. They have a lot of young players, something like 20 with 3 or less years experience, and some on the upside with 10, 11, 12 years experience. A real gap in the middle of their development.
O.J. Anderson on a counterplay. Look out as he explodes across the 35-yard line of Baltimore down to the 34. Barry Krause, number 55, in there from Alabama, in on the tackle. Watch the blocking on the right side and watch the speed here of O.J. Anderson.
And the strength of O.J. Not only does he have speed, but he just runs through tackles, as you see him do there, carries people with him. O.J., one of the finest backs in the NFL. What a horse.
Another first down for the Cardinals. They're coming right back on this drive after the Colts had scored. 21-17. St. Louis on top by 4. 8:25 and counting, third quarter. Baltimore Memorial Stadium. You look at what O.J. Anderson has done this afternoon. He has had 17 100-yard games in his 3-year career. Colts get the football back. Herb Orvis, number 88, the 10-year veteran from Colorado, as Lomax missed on the handoff with Wayne Morris.
No ball at the 35.
Obviously, Neil Lomax pitches the ball to Wayne Morris. He really wanted to pitch to the deep man, O.J. Anderson. Morris was not looking for it, bounces off him. Orvis comes up with the Baltimore Colt recovery. Watch it again.
Morris.
See, he wants to, exactly, he wants to pitch to Anderson. He should have been. Morris wasn't looking for it. He was a blocker. The ball was recovered by Baltimore.
So the Colts get a break. The Cardinals have fumbled the ball 4 times. They've lost it 3 times. Colts climbing back into the football game, and they've got the ball.
There's a new day dawning, America.
Today, we're all working to brighten America's energy future. And Sun, an energy company for nearly a century, is helping by developing new sources of oil, natural gas, synthetic fuels, and coal right here at home.
America, America, Sun is helping to make a new day.
Sun, a lot of energy under one name.
At JCPenney Auto Centers, we won't steer you wrong. We will steer you to the amazing JCPenney Mileage Maker XP All-Season Steel-Belted Radial for great traction in any road conditions. And right now, save $40 to $100 on a set of 4. The Mileage Maker XP with the unique interlock block tread. Season in, season out. The only tire you need. Only at JCPenney.
JCPenney Auto Centers, we won't steer you wrong.
Next Saturday here on CBS, Gary Bender and Billy Packer premiere with NCAA basketball on CBS Sports. You'll see the Wolverines of Michigan going up against the University of Arkansas Razorbacks next Saturday right here on CBS Sports. 8:12 to go, quarter number 3. The Colts climbing back into things. They trail by 4. They were down by 11 at the intermission. Roger Carr, who caught that last 4-yard scoring strike from Burt Jones, wide to the right side. Butler to the near side. The I formation, McMillan and Zach Dixon. Curtis Dickey out with a hip pointer. Zach Dixon gets the block from Randy McMillan and bucks his way up to about the 38-yard line. Pick up a 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Lee Nelson, the 6-year man from Florida State, in there on the tackle.
Colts haven't been noted for their rushing game this year. They're 13th in rushing in the AFC, averaging only 113 yards a game.
You know, you have to wonder what's wrong with the Baltimore Colts offensively when you look at their weapons. Curtis Dickey, Roger Carr, Ray Butler, and the quarterback, of course, number 7, Burt Jones. 11th offensively in the AFC in total offense, 13th in rushing, and 10th in passing. Now, you've got a great quarterback in Jones with a great arm, a couple of great wide receivers. What happens that you're only 10th in your conference out of 14 teams in passing?
I think you have to look at the Baltimore Colts as a total entity. When you have a defense that is giving up that many points, as you watch number 32, McMillan, limping off the field. What a disaster that would be. Dickey's already out with a hip pointer. Now McMillan limping off the field. But if you have a defense that's continually putting you in the hole, giving up 34 points a game, then your offense can't do what it wants to do. It can't get consistent drives going. It has to do inordinate things to come back, and that's when you make mistakes.
Don McCauley, 23, is checked in. Burt Jones to put it up. 3rd and 5, can run for it if he wants it. Instead, he guns it to McCauley. Incomplete. Had it for a moment and was stripped of it, and the Colts will punt it away. 6:45, clock is stopped on the incompleted pass. Got a final in from Buffalo. The Bills hung on against the Patriots. 20-17. Buffalo 20, New England 17. So in that AFC East now, the Bills up their record to 7-5. The Jets, who are playing later this afternoon at Shea, 6-4-1, and the Dolphins are 7-3-1.
And of course the Jets, Richard Todd with his flap jacket with that injured rib going against Miami in that big game for first place in the AFC East.
Bad snap. Fake is on. He did not get the first down. Now, John, was that a design play, or did he elect to do that on his own because the snap was bad?
It certainly looked like a design play. What surprises me is that he's running up the middle where all kinds of people are coming with pursuit. As you look at Mike McCormick, you wonder if it's a design play because he's saying to himself, what happened? What happened?
I think he did it on his own. I think the snap was bad. I think he saw something on the right side. He starts, okay. Wait a minute, he sees that little hole. I think he did that totally on his own, especially based on McCormick's reaction. We saw him in practice yesterday. Off that formation, they will pass. It didn't work.
Rainmaker to ground. Okay, Rainmaker. One more, how to do it? Raj, picking us up a radio. Tell that fire not to go anywhere. Bullseye! You got it! Does that mean it's Miller time? Roger.
Miller time.
When it's time to relax.
Time for the best tasting beer you can find.
One beer stands clear.
Miller High Life.
If you got the time, Miller's got the beer.
These are nice diesel cars. Get good mileage, carry people comfortably. Now this Toyota diesel truck is nice too. It gets fantastic truck mileage. And this tough Toyota diesel truck can carry 2 people comfortably and 1,000 pounds of feed, or 1,000 pounds of wire, or 110 gallons of milk, or camping and fishing gear for 2 weeks. Delivers like a diesel, works like a truck.
Wednesday, Shannon gets caught between an arsonist, an old enemy, and a beautiful woman. Shannon, Wednesday at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
Sometimes, John, when it rains, it pours, and you look at a very concerned Mike McCormick there. Here is the play. And the question is, did Wood elect to do this on his own?
He certainly, Mike Garrett looked like he might have done it on his own. He saw a hole up the middle. From McCormick's reaction, he seems to be, he's blowing smoke. My goodness, he's wondering why. I think he might have been freelancing, and it didn't work. Cards have the ball in good field position.
Tilley to the near side. They go with a double tight end alignment. Wayne Morris, O.J. Anderson, Neil Lomax going deep. Wants Tilley, fires to the sideline. Tilley comes back to the ball. He's got it. First down, St. Louis at the 27-yard line of Baltimore. No flags. First down, Cardinals. Derek Hatchett, as you look at the slow motion, as if you're the safety man for the Baltimore Colts.
Lomax has so much time. The play action fake isn't very much, but Tilley goes down 20 yards, drives off the defensive back, Hatchett, and then comes back. Nice throw. Easy pattern, number 42, Derek Hatchett, the second man out of Texas. Watch this. Watch how much time Tilley has to work on the defensive back. He's 24 yards downfield. The defensive back thinks he's doing a takeoff. He turns around, comes back, makes the catch for the first down.
From the 28-yard line, O.J. Anderson, a convoy around the left side, breaks 1 tackle, breaks another, breaks 3 tackles. Look at him go. O.J. Anderson, in his 3rd year for Miami, like a tank, leaves a stream of Baltimore Colts lying in the dust.
Sometimes you look at O.J. Anderson and you shades of Jimmy Brown. That ability to shrug off people, big and strong, uses his arms. Watch him here as he takes the ball around the right side. And he just shrugs off people. Watch number 55. That's Krause. He's 240 pounds. He shrugs him off, shrugs off a couple of other players, comes out from the pile, just keeps running. Oh, that hurts. Look at him give that forearm to Nelson Glasgow.
He broke 4 tackles on the carry. First and goal, Cardinals at the 8-yard line of Baltimore. And again, another Colt mistake set up this St. Louis scoring opportunity. Lomax pitching back to O.J. Anderson. This time, Krause wrestles him to the ground and makes sure he wraps those Crimson Tide bare arms around him and throws him to the turf. Second down, goal to go for the Cardinals, knocking at the Colt door. 21-17, St. Louis on top.
There's a #1 draft choice out of Alabama in his 3rd year, Barry Krause from Alabama. He was the 6th player taken in the draft, so that tells you how highly regarded Barry Krause was by the scouting department of the Baltimore Colts.
O.J. Anderson, 74 yards on 17 carries, approaching his 18th 100-plus-yard game. O.J. gets the call again, and this time they're keying on him. They cut him down at about the 7-yard line. Lomax looks over at the bench and says, okay, you call the next one.
Right, I don't want the responsibility.
Sanders Shiver in there in the tackle, the 6-year man out of Carson Newman, 6'2", 230, a 5th draft choice back in 1976, and help from others. Now, Mel Gray checks in. You look at the Brain Trust, Mike McCormick and his assistants. And Neil Lomax calling the play. Dan Deerdorf, 10-year veteran.
3rd and goal from the 7.
Gray to the top of your screen, Tilley to the near side. Roy Green in the slot. And now Neil Lomax sees something in the Baltimore defense that was not...
Not only that, excuse me, Jim, not only that, but you could see some confusion in Neil Lomax as he was calling that play. He wasn't sure of it. St. Louis leads by 4, and we'll be right back.
Monthly edition for only $18. Call toll-free 1-800.
Dear Atari Anonymous, ever since my husband Luno returned from Earth with Asteroids, the new Atari home video game, he and the rest of the family do nothing but play Asteroids. Luno says Asteroids is good practice for his interplanetary flights.
Bitty bitty? Bitty bitty?
Tell me, dear Atari Anonymous, with everybody hooked on Asteroids, what on earth is a poor Martian mother to do?
New Atari Asteroids, now available for your home.
GMC is a big name in trucks with a lot behind it. Like the new GMC C1500 pickup, which offers a new optional 6.2-liter diesel engine designed exclusively for trucks. And GMC's new S15, the little rig, with a standard 4 or available with an optional V6 engine that can deliver economy and be quick about it. GMC, the name tells you right up front, trucks are what we're all about.
You look at Neil Lomax after conferring with Jim Hannafin. Let's take a look at the scores around the NFL today. The Detroit Lions still in the playoff picture, dumping Chicago again for the 2nd time. Of course, the first time Detroit played Chicago, Eric Hipple had that great game. Green Bay has fallen to Tampa Bay. The Bucs still alive in the playoff picture. Houston just losing to New Orleans. So Bum Phillips, the new coach of the Saints, defeating his old team, the Houston Oilers. Neil Lomax doesn't like something. He wants to know why there are not 30 seconds up on the play clock, which has ticked down to 16. Otis Anderson, we are told, needs just 6 more yards for another 1,000-yard.
Will be put back on the clock.
Another 1,000-yard season.
What a surprise, the Giants beating Philadelphia in the 4th quarter by 10 points.
You know what's very surprising about that? Sims, the quarterback, Phil Sims for the Giants, is out.
Scott Bruner,
the young man from Delaware, is in at a quarterback. So the Eagles, a veteran team, going up against, and there's less than a minute to go in that game. Cincinnati has downed Denver. The Broncos in trouble now in that AFC West. They're at 8-4. Kansas City, as they're having all sorts of problems with the clock here in Baltimore right now.
Buffalo beat New England by 3. Poor New England drops their 10th game of the season. They're now 2-10. And of course, they're in that race with Baltimore, who was 1-10 for the #1 draft choice this season. Kind of the booby prize, right? But look what happened to Detroit when they got the #1. Pittsburgh beating Cleveland 32-10.
In Cleveland. 3rd down, 7 yards for the touchdown. Cardinals cannot get a first. Gray to the top of the screen. Lomax looks for him on the post pattern coming in. Lomax in trouble. Flag on the play in the end zone. The pass is incomplete to O.J. Anderson. But the flag was thrown, and I believe it's going to be Baltimore Colt interference. Melgray might have been held up as he came back on a post route.
Is that right, Jim? Well, I have something else to say about that. Melgray might have been picking the inside safety, and maybe he deserved to be held up. Yes, it's holding against Baltimore. He was picking, and the back was coming out of the backfield into the flat. It's a play that offenses often use. And we'll see if we can pick up the referee's call in a moment.
That, of course, will be an automatic first down.
And a tough break for Baltimore.
Number 55, first down.
Barry Krause.
You could list all of the tough breaks for Baltimore. The mistakes continue to magnify themselves for the Baltimore Colts. That will happen when you've lost 10 and are working toward 11 in a row. Straight T formation. This is not Ohio State. Wayne Morris, touchdown Cardinals, quick hitter right over the middle. Tom Brahaney, the center, Barney Cotton, the right guard, and it's touchdown St. Louis.
Wayne Morris gets his third touchdown of the year, just pops right through the hole. Good blocking up front, obviously. Watch this. Morris pops through, everybody expecting OJ to get it. Barry Krause can't get there. He goes in. Arm tackles won't do it in that situation.
Neil O'Donoghue will try to make it again, an 11-point St. Louis advantage. Colts hurt themselves with mistakes again. It's good. Take another look now.
Watch your blocking up front. Strong blocking up front. Wayne Morris, third-year man out of SMU, puts the Cardinals on top, 28-17.
Kodacolor 2 film for prints captures all the colors you can imagine. Brilliant yellows and greens from luscious watermelon to radiant peacock. Spectacular blues from indigo to blueberry you can taste. Vivid reds from rose to flame. More colors than your eyes can see. The more you care about color, the more you need Kodacolor 2 film from Kodak, America's storyteller.
Presenting the new Toyota Supra and Dan Gurney. It takes the right stuff to make a great performance car. Come ride with Dan Gurney and see.
It's quick off the line. That's the twin-cam fuel-injected engine. Now let's see the independent four-wheel suspension in action. Handles well. Nice brakes.
The new Toyota Celica Supra.
That's the right stuff.
Supra.
Toyota. Thanksgiving Day, feast your eyes on CBS Sports as the Chicago Bears face the Dallas Cowboys, starting with a special holiday edition of the NFL Today, live at 3:30 Eastern on CBS.
Jim Kelly, John Dockery back at Baltimore Memorial Stadium. 4:45 left to go in the third quarter. The Cardinals by 11 over the Colts. Neil O'Donoghue brings the foot to it. Fielded back by number 26, Kim Anderson, the rookie. Looks for some blocking. Finds instead the Cardinal specialty team. Gets it back barely to the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 Baltimore from that point. Burt Jones still the quarterback. 28-17. Remember, last week, once the game was out of hand, Mr. Bob Irsay, the owner of the Baltimore Colts, began calling the plays himself. Asked Mike McCormick if he wouldn't like to send the plays in, alternating quarterbacks. Burt Jones for a play, Greg Landry, the 14-year veteran from Massachusetts, for a play or two. And that obviously caused some confusion among the Colts coaches as well as the players. 1st and 10 Baltimore, slot to the left side. Butler outside, Carr inside. I formation, no Curtis Dickey, out with a hip pointer. Butler has it one-on-one, and down he goes. A fine open field tackle as tempers continue to flare. That's Jeff Griffin, the rookie out of Utah, 3rd-round draft pick a year ago. What's it like being a cornerback going one-on-one when you've got a speed burner coming at you, John?
It's terrifying. The thing you need, I mean, it's in every sport, it's position. If you read, right there, Jeff Griffin, for example, saw Burt Jones, read the quarterback as well as the wide receiver, and knew that the ball was coming. Had he just been looking at the wide receiver, he might have been further off, gotten there late, and it would have been real trouble. But he saw both players.
From the 21, 2nd down and 7. Inside handoff and going next to nowhere. Cleveland Franklin, number 28, a free agent out of Baylor in his 4th year. Another fellow who the Eagles took a look at. Jody, back to when you're going one-on-one, trying to make that tackle. What do you look for in the receiver? Do you watch his eyes for which way he's going to go? Do you watch his shoulders? Do you watch his hips? How do you try to anticipate where he's going to go, where he's going to give you the move?
You can't watch his shoulders because all of the receivers have such great upper body types of fakes. They'll throw those shoulders around, go this way, they go that way. You try and get a view of their lower part of their body as you look at some of the gloomy Baltimore fans here, and there aren't that many. Stadium may be half full.
Cardinals jumped off sides. Free play for Baltimore. Roger Carr could not get the inside position. A fine defensive play for St. Louis. Back there on the coverage, that's number 38, Lee Nelson, the 6-year man out of Florida State. But that's a free play. And Jones knew it.
Lee Nelson has good coverage, good inside position. He's looking at Roger Carr's eyes and keeping that position, not letting him get back underneath, running. He doesn't see the ball, but here he keeps the position so Carr can't come back and make the grab.
Yeah, you should. We saw the fans in the stands. 32,782 tickets were sold. 24,784 are in the stadium, and those are fans. That means there were almost 8,000 no-shows.
Offside. First down.
Now the Baltimore Colts have already lost Curtis Dickey with a hip pointer. Now they have lost number 32, Randy McMillan, the rookie out of Pittsburgh, with a bruised thigh. So 28 is Cleveland Franklin, free agent out of Baylor. He is in there working with Zach Dixon, a second-year man out of Temple. Carr to the near side, Butler to the far side. 1st and 10 from the Colts 28. Down by 11. Jones has to go up top. He's got Butler. Worley wrestles him out of bounds near the 30.
It's interesting as you look at Ray Butler. He's wearing gloves. How in the world you can catch a ball thrown that hard with gloves is amazing to me. But some receivers seem to have that knack. They wear the golf gloves and they're able to handle it. I could never do it when I played. I felt that there was insulation between my hands and the ball, and I didn't have that kind of a feel. But yet Ray Butler made a good catch right there with gloves.
Great shot down on the sideline right in front of us in the Baltimore bench. The secondary all sitting together. Hatchett, Pinckney, Glasgow, Brazil, trying to figure out when they get back in and talking about how they can stop Pat Tilley, Mel Gray and company. 2nd down. This is Zach Dixon with a nice move and a good block. Still on his feet. Up across the 40-yard line. Wrestled out of bounds in front of that Baltimore bench. 1st down Colts.
Boy, Zach Dixon is picking up from some of the slack from Dickey and McMillan, both out with injuries. Watch Zach turn it on here. Makes a nice move to get by Ken Green, who's an excellent tackler from his free safety position right here, and get some good yardage for the 1st down.
You saw the stats on Zach Dixon. He's having quite a afternoon here. He only had 34 carries, 135 yards coming in 11 games for the Colts. Jones to Roger Carr, incomplete. No flag on the play, and the Colt fans don't like it. Back there on the coverage, Jeff Griffin, the rookie from Utah. And that's a case where the defensive back timing, John. You time your hit at the precise moment. It's one of the toughest things you can do in sports.
Jeff Griffin has been playing well all year long. Hannafin's very high on him. That's Roger Carr, still with great speed. Just good, exactly. Hit him just when the ball got there and knocked it away.
Can you teach a defensive back timing like that?
No, instinct. Pure instinct, pure body control. You're backpedaling. You're trying to keep that cushion on the wide receiver and still react when the ball is thrown and get there at the same time as the ball. Jeff Griffin has that kind of athletic ability and instinct.
2nd down and 10. Zach Dixon up near the 44, maybe across the 44 to the 45-yard line.
Zachary Dixon on the carry, Lee Nelson on the stop.
That's a final score. The Giants have upset the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia 2010. They did it with a backup quarterback, Scott Bruner. Here are your updated standings now. The Eagles dropped to 9-3. The Dallas Cowboys will be playing the Washington Redskins this afternoon. So Dallas could end up tied for the division lead depending on the outcome of that game. The Giants increased their record to 6-6, and they're still in the playoff picture. The Redskins, well, who knows? And the Cardinals 4-7. They still have an outside shot. 3rd and 5. Burt Jones stays in the pocket. Got his man. Cleveland Franklin, but he hangs on. And that's a Baltimore Colt 1st down. The ball was loose, but not before he was on the ground. Line of scrimmage, the 49-yard line. There's no flag there, but there is a flag all the way back at the 35-yard line of Baltimore. There should be holding against the Colts. Boy, this must be so frustrating for the offense.
So
the fumbles, the penalties, the mistakes.
It's been a long year in Baltimore. Especially for a guy like Burt Jones, who has tasted winning.
Number 68.
But excuse me, Jim, you mentioned the Giants before when you're updating the big win against Philadelphia today. That comes off 2 losses. Remember last week the squib kick versus Washington, losing that game when Mosley came on with the field goal. The week before they lost to Green Bay by a couple of points. What a win for the New York Giants. Keeps them in the playoff picture.
3rd and 14. Jones scrambles out of the pocket. Got Cleveland Franklin incomplete. Would not have been nearly enough for the first down. Okay, the Detroit Lions have beaten the Chicago Bears. Eric Hippolyte, the quarterback, controls once again. The Bears going absolutely nowhere. Green Bay over Tampa Bay. Excuse me, Tampa Bay over Green Bay. It is Tampa Bay. So here are your standings in the NFC. The Vikings play the Atlanta Falcons tomorrow night. You see the Lions coming on. Tampa Bay tied 6-6. Green Bay and Bart Starr dropped to 5-7. And the hapless Chicago Bears at 4-8.
Jim, I like Detroit in that division because last week when they beat Dallas, they started to believe in themselves as a team that's able to beat the good teams. I like Detroit down the stretch.
Mike Garrett this time will kick it away and not try to pick up the first down on his own. Stump Mitchell. Down he goes. Excellent coverage by the Colts special teams. And you might think that maybe Stump would have been wiser to signal for the fair catch on that one.
Stump wants to earn his money.
Caught it in traffic would be an understatement. Chris Foote, the second-year man from USC, down there quickly for the Colts on the coverage. So the Cardinals, who already have an 11-point lead, get the football back in pretty good field position. But you know, so many times in this football game, we're talking about the Baltimore Colts mistakes, both offensively and defensively. The 2 interceptions by Burt Jones, the fumble, the costly penalty of Barry Krause, then the punt that didn't get kicked. Instead, he simply decided he would try to pick up the first down on his own. And they magnify themselves, and they get bigger as the game goes along. And so you're in the ball game, you're only trailing by 4, now you're down by 11 again. And that old friend momentum is shifting the other way, as it usually does when you make those kinds of mistakes.
And not only that, there's only 1:35 left in the third quarter, and you're playing against an offense that has a great running back in O.J. Anderson, an offense that can control the ball, keep it away from you. As you look at that score, Bum Phillips does it to his old team by 3 points.
And here's a surprise in Los Angeles early. The 49ers trying to rebound after that loss to the Cleveland Browns a week ago over the Los Angeles Rams. They had a squeaker. I think the first game was 2017 in San Francisco. The 49ers hung on to win that one. Tilley to the near side. Straight ahead, Wayne Morris explodes through the little pile. They had him stopped at the 40-yard line. He got 3 more on his own as he kept those knees and legs churning away and gets close to the first down yardage. At Shea Stadium, the New York Jets have gone out in front over the Miami Dolphins. Now the Dolphins are 7-3-1 going in. The Jets are 6-4-1. So you can see the importance of that game. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills have already won, so they up their record to 7-5.
And of course, Jim, a lot of people criticized Walt Michaels terribly when he went for the tie against Miami some weeks back. And certainly he's trying to make up for that today. Both quarterbacks hurt. Richard Todd with a rib, Pat Ryan with an ankle. They signed a new quarterback this week, but apparently Richard Todd is in there at quarterback in this important game.
I think justifiably so. I think anytime you've got the ball down on the 35-yard line of your opponent, you're under a minute to go, you're in the overtime session. Michael elected to play it conservative. He ran out the clock. He didn't try for a first down. He didn't try to get his field goal kicker into position to try to win the football game. He played for a tie. That's not what it's all about.
That's not what it's all about. And at that time, Jim, they were a team that was floundering. They hadn't won many games. They were trying to make a run. They had nothing to lose, and yet he went for the tie.
But you don't coach not to lose. You coach to win.
You coach to win.
1st and 10. Cardinals at their own 43-yard line. Lomax at the controls. Gives off to Wayne Morris. He explodes across the 50. Close to first down yardage again. Barry Krause, the 3rd-year man from Alabama, in there in the tackle. And you see the Cardinal offense now changing their strategy.
And that's what Jim Hanifin, you talk about coaching to win. He believes success breeds success. As you watch Wayne Morris make some yardage here, this is a young, developing St. Louis Cardinal football team trying to learn how to win. Sure, they beat Dallas, they beat Minnesota, they beat Buffalo, but they come back and lose to bad teams. They're looking for that consistency. Jim Hanifin is tough on them, trying to help them to find that consistency.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The St. Louis Cardinals 28, the Baltimore Colts 17. We'll be back with the start of the fourth quarter after this word from your local station.
Next Saturday, get into the spirit as NCAA basketball premieres on CBS Sports. Now through the National Championship. Go one-on-one with CBS Sports. This is CBS.
Pretty pictures over Baltimore, courtesy of our director Sandy Grossman, our producer Bob Rowe. Jim Kelly, John Dockery back for the final 15 minutes at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. The Colts on the short end. The Cardinals are up top, 28-17 in control, and they have the football. In motion, this is Mel Gray to the near side. Tilley is outside in the slot. O.J. Anderson rapidly approaching another 1,000-yard season. He needed just 6 more yards. He picked up about 4 on that play. What a player he has been. Last week, Otis Anderson, 27 carries, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. And at that time, he supplanted Jim Otis as the all-time Cardinal ground gainer, 3,867 yards, 4 better than the old record. He has had 17 career 100-plus yard games. There you see the stats on him in this afternoon. If he stays in there, he'll certainly go over 100 yards once again. 2nd down and 6. O.J. Anderson getting close to that record again.
And it's interesting what Lomax said about the Cardinal offense. In college, you know, Lomax was incredible. Threw over 100 touchdowns in his career, but he said, you know, when you get to the pros, there's more talent, the competition is faster. We're not going to win games by 90-7 the way they did at Portland State. I'll rely more on some of my supporting cast. When you have an O.J. Anderson, you have to run him. When you have a Pat Tilley and a Mel Gray, you have to get the ball to him. So Lomax, I think, will be a quarterback. Look at as he drags himself off the field, but he hasn't missed a game for the Cardinals, so I expect he'll be back, although he's holding that left knee a little bit.
But another fair runner that wore that same number, Jim Brown, used to do that. Come back in and break one for about 80 yards on you. Lomax goes up top on 3rd and 2. Got a first down to Pat Tilley. He's been the main man this afternoon. First down, St. Louis and more, close to the Baltimore 30-yard line. Lomax got sacked after he released, but he picked up another first down. Take another look.
You know what Jim Hannafin told me? He said Lomax does something young quarterbacks don't normally do. He has the ability to find his 2nd and 3rd receiver. Here he holds the ball, finds his secondary target, Tilley, for the first down. He has excellent peripheral vision, too. A lot of times the quarterback comes out of college, he has that tunnel vision and can't see the field, the entire picture. Lomax apparently can do that. That's one of the reasons why he's going to be a fine quarterback in the NFL.
He can throw it on the rope, John. Watch this. The soft touch. He leads the receiver by about 3 yards. He can feather it in there when he has to. I did the Senior Bowl a couple years ago when Lomax played. Here it comes to Wayne Morris. O.J. Anderson getting a rest inside the 30 down to the 28. And I got a chance to see Mark Wilson, a great-looking young quarterback. Neil Lomax coming on now. And again, the future is now for Neil Lomax, Jim Hannafin, and the St. Louis Cardinals.
And you know, he was a number 2 draft choice, and you have to wonder when you look at him. Such a talented youngster. Great stats. You know, all kinds of records, NCAA all-time records. But the reason, I think the rap on him, and you just said you saw him in the Senior Bowl, he played well. But before that, in the East-West game, he had a bad game, and some of the scouts shied away from him. And Rick Campbell was the first quarterback taken in that 81 draft.
From the 28 of Baltimore, it's 2nd down and 8. Cardinals show slot to the left side. Lomax barking signals. Colts coming with a blitz. They go to the O.J. Anderson, and this will be the record. He's got 1,000 yards on the season. Flag on the play, so the record may come back. Down on the ground, number 66 for the St. Louis Cardinals, shaking his head as if to say, wait a minute, I wasn't holding. That's George Collins, the left tackle, but I believe they might have nailed him. Hey, things are getting kind of interesting in that AFC West. The Broncos have lost. Their record falls to 8-4. Kansas City, they were 8-4 going in, and they were winning, so they will go up to 8-4. The Chargers are losing 7-0 to Oakland. Oakland.
Chargers, folks.
Illegal use of the hand, number 66.
Chargers coming off that loss Monday night to Seattle. Denver, it shows you how important a quarterback is in the NFL. Craig Morton didn't play for Denver today. They dropped it.
They're your Western Division standings. I mentioned Kansas City, 40-13.
You know, Jim, you talk about parity in the NFL. Going into today's contest, 22 of the 28 teams were still in the running for the playoffs. Isn't that amazing? In the 12th week of the season.
That's Gray in motion to the top of your screen on 2nd and 15. Lomax up top, batted down at the line of scrimmage. Fine defensive play for the Baltimore Colts. Bubba Green, number 91, who we didn't expect to see in there. The rookie out of North Carolina, 6'4", 278, playing alongside number 90, Hosea Taylor. So you've got a couple of rookies, and again, they will make some rookie mistakes, but they will also improve and grow together.
Remember the old days when the Baltimore Colts had that awesome defensive line of Dutton, who's at Dallas now, and Ehrman, who went to Detroit. Of course, the problem they had was Mike Barnes got hurt early, hasn't played all year long. Ozdowski's out, and they're calling on a lot of rookies like Hosea Taylor, Mike Fultz, Bubba Green, the rookie out of North Carolina State, who they're very high on, 6th draft choice this year.
Wide receivers left and right, backs are split. Lomax looks at 3rd and 15. Pulls it down, stays on his feet, pushed out of bounds, close to first down yardage. He took a lick. He took a tremendous pop from number 99, the rookie out of North Carolina, Donnell Thompson, 6'5", 252, who shows great speed, great pursuit, and watch the hit.
Watch the in tackle game. Green takes the inside route there and trying to get to Lomax. That leaves it open on the outside. No containment. You can't do that with a good quarterback. Lomax takes it upfield, and here's where he takes a hit from number 90, Donnell Thompson. Watch Green again, number 91. They're in an end tackle game. He takes the inside route. You can't do that. He gets taken inside. Lomax comes outside. His job is containment of the quarterback, especially a mobile one like Lomax.
Roger Worley will spot it at the 32. It'll be a 42-yard try for Neil O'Donohue. Missed it wide to the near side. He has missed 2 this afternoon, and that could have put the Cardinals up by 2 touchdowns. So Baltimore still trails by 11. 11:35 left to go in regulation from Baltimore Memorial Stadium. The Colts come out of it not too bad. The field goal is wide. We'll be right back.
Here's 2 good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Alex, I'm just coming out to look for you greenhorns.
We took a little detour.
Little detour for what?
Well, we want to say thank you for putting up with us these last couple of weeks.
So we stopped at the store and picked up some Lone Brown. By golly, you city folks are all right.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Low and Brown.
We had such a good time. We're coming back next year. Okay, but don't tell my horses that.
Radio Shack makes Christmas dreams come true. Whether it's on the track or off or on maneuvers, your kids control all the action with our incredible radio control toys. With an easy-to-operate transmitter, drive a race car, put a motorcycle through its paces, or even control a robot. Excitement for kids and grown-ups, too. 11 different fun-filled radio-controlled action toys priced $11.95 to $69.95. Only at Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
In his 3rd year from the University of Miami, number 32, Otis Anderson. You see the season stats on him. That includes what he has done here this afternoon. He has gone over 1,000 yards for his 3rd consecutive year with the St. Louis Cardinals. And what a great one he is already, and certainly is going to be if they can keep him healthy. He is already 5th in the NFC in rushing this year behind some pretty good company like Billy Sims of the Lions, Tony Dorsett of the Cowboys, Wilbert Montgomery of the Philadelphia Eagles. Incomplete, intended for Butler. Worley back there as the Cardinals were in the nickel defense as they're expecting Burt Jones to throw and throw often now, down by 11 points. 1-yard touchdown run by Muncie, and the Chargers have come back against Oakland. They're tied 7-7. Danny White, a 28-yard touchdown pass to Butch Johnson, and the Cowboys go out in front over the Washington Redskins. You don't think those Cowboys saw that Giants score, did you?
The Washington Redskins hot, winning 5 of their last 6 games. We saw them against Detroit a couple of weeks back. They won on a Mosley field goal the last 2 weeks against Detroit, and then the Giants.
Flood formation to the right side. Jones needs 10. 2nd down. Got Cleveland Franklin out of the backfield, close to first down yardage, up in the vicinity of the 35-yard line. A 50-yard field goal by Pat Leahy. The Jets have gone on top over the Miami Dolphins, 7-6. A 44-yard kick by Frank Corral, and the Rams have come back to tie up the San Francisco 49ers. Coming up on Turkey Day, Thanksgiving. Football all begins with the NFL Today. with Brent, Irv, Phyllis, and the Greek. You'll see a profile on the Dallas Cowboys defensive back Charlie Waters. Also a look at the oldest high school football rivalry in the nation. Then when the football gets underway, Walter Payton and those Chicago Bears take on Tony Dorsett and the Dallas Cowboys. The action at 2:30 Central Time right here on CBS. Cleveland Franklin bangs over for a first down for the Baltimore Colts. They keep the drive alive.
You know, Charlie Waters is really a throwback to the old type of football player. He's so hard-nosed, so bright back there. He's run that secondary for a lot of years, kind of like Larry Wilson used to be with the Cardinals. I mean, all of those injuries and still coming back. The man obviously loves the game. I'm looking forward to seeing that profile on Charlie Waters.
Under 11 minutes left in regulation. The Colts have to get a touchdown and back into this football game. They trail by 11. Flood to the right side. Quick out. Butler's got it. Lots of room to work on Worley. Gets up to the 41, and then Worley pushes him out of bounds, and tempers flare up, and Mike McCormick's not happy about it, and he lets the referee and the umpire know about it very quickly.
Roger Worley taking him out.
Frustration magnifies itself when you have lost 10 consecutive games. What a nice man Mike McCormick was. In the face of all this, it would have been very easy Friday, as you're out at practice, yesterday as we were both out there, to hide in the coach's room and to not answer the questions directly and fairly and honestly, and he didn't dodge a single one.
He didn't, and I'm amazed. He's a man who showed tremendous class and stood up all week long under that kind of pressure. We talked to him, asked him the questions straight out about the ownership, about Irsay calling the plays. He said he really didn't want to talk about it, but that he was going to finish out. He wasn't a quitter, and Baltimore Colts haven't quit here today, and maybe that's a credit to Mike McCormick and what they feel about him.
Flags all over the field now as tempers continue to flare. It started on the preceding play. The referees will have a discussion and sort out to see if they are offsetting personal foul penalties or not. In the meantime, there is still lots of time left in this football game. The Colts scored on a 4-play drive that used only 58 seconds after the Cardinals had scored on their very first possession. So when you've got weapons like a Burt Jones, like a Ray Butler, like a Roger Carr, you can score and strike very quickly. Here is Fred White. Offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct. You know, you take a look at this Baltimore Colt team. And the rebuilding job, John, that they are trying to do. 32 of their players on the roster, or 71%, have 3 years or less NFL experience. Another 12 have been in the league less than 5 years. So you can see how much youth is on this Baltimore Colt team.
Both teams have that kind of a problem, though. Yes, there's youth. Yes, they're rebuilding. But on the top side, they have 4 or 5 veterans, 6, 7, 8 veterans who are in the league 9, 10, 11, 12 years. You don't have that middle ground where guys are developing, coming along, getting the experience to replace the players that are leaving. And I think both teams have that problem, the Colts more than the Cardinals.
Deep drop by Burt Jones on the string, incomplete. Broken up on a great defensive play. E.J. Jr., he's already got 1 interception in the afternoon. And the Colts will kick it away.
Watch E.J. Jr., number 54. Burt must not see him. E.J. out of Alabama, the #1 draft choice this year. Shows great mobility for a man 6'3", 235. Not much on the hands department, though.
But he already does have the 1 interception so far this afternoon.
Right, that's right.
10.5 to go in regulation. Stump Mitchell back at about his own 24-yard line to field what is an anticipated punt, but with Mike Garrett so far this afternoon, at least on one occasion, you never can tell. This one, he hangs high. Mitchell fields cleanly at the 20. Out of bounds up near the 29-yard line, and the Cardinals will try to use some time on the clock. 28-17, St. Louis trying to win their first game back-to-back, and their first game on the road this far this season. They've got an 11-point lead.
Toyota has to compare their 82 four-wheel drive truck to our dirt bike. We're both tough going up mountain roads. Toyota should be. It's got one of the biggest engines in its class.
And he looks pretty comfortable in there, too.
Come on, Toyota, the last part of the test where you carry us, then we carry you. Give me a break. Oh, what a feeling. The 4x4, it'll get you to the top, comfortably.
Are
Okay, Eunice, travel plans. I need to be in New York on Monday, LA on Tuesday, New York on Wednesday, LA on Thursday, New York on Friday. Got it? So you want to work here? What really makes you think you deserve a job here?
Well, sir, I think I like it. I'm good at figures and I have a sharp mind.
Excellent. Can you start on Monday? And in conclusion, Jim, Bill, Bob, call Fred, Load, Dork, Adolf, and Ted. Business is business, so let's get to work. Thank you for taking me. Peter, you did a bang-up job. I'm putting you in charge of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, perfect. I know it's perfect, Peter. That's why I picked Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's perfect, Peter. May I call you Pete? Congratulations on your deal in Denver, Dave. I'm putting you down to deal with Dallas.
In this fast-moving, get-it-done-yesterday world, aren't you glad there's one company that can keep up with it all? Federal Express. When it absolutely positively has to be there overnight.
Tonight, a 3-hour CBS special movie presentation. It's Walt Disney's Academy Award-winning hit, Mary Poppins.
Kansas City has beaten Seattle 40-13. That's the final score now. So with Denver losing, their record is 8-4. Kansas City ups theirs to 8-4. A tie in the AFC West. The Chargers and the Oakland Raiders are tied 7-all right now. San Diego 6-5 coming in. And the Raiders 5-6, the defending Super Bowl champs, still thinking wild card possibilities, as are the St. Louis Cardinals with 10.5 to go, and they're 11 points up. Pitch back, O.J. Anderson, who has already gone over 1,000 yards for his third straight season, across the 30, up around the 32-yard line, out of bounds, and will stop the clock.
Chased out of bounds by Nesby Glasgow. 3-yard gain.
Colt defense, I think, John, would like to force some kind of a turnover here. Of course, Neil Lomax and Jim Hannafin, who is calling the plays right now, not going to get too fancy and risk any kind of an interception, but the Colt defense would like to force a fumble, some kind of a turnover, and set their offense up in good field position so they don't have that long drive to get back into the football game.
Certainly could use it at this point in the game.
Turnovers so far in this football game have gone the way of the St. Louis Cardinals, and they've capitalized. Wayne Morris explodes across the 40-yard line. First down, St. Louis.
And the Baltimore defense, as you said, was more aggressive that time. They put their linebackers right up on the line. They came a bit, but when you break a play that quickly as they do, Wayne Morris, watch this. They move over the center, and they do come. Here comes the linebacker, number 50, Joe Federspiel. He's going to come. But Wayne Morris breaks it up quickly and gets some good yardage. Good blocking by the offensive line. Watch it again. See Federspiel, he gets blocked. Morris bangs up there quickly and gets a good first down.
Green outside, Tilley inside. Lomax works 1st and 10. Handoff Wayne Morris. Not much doing over on that right side. Colts clog it up very well. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Jim, what I would say at this time, you're losing 28-17. There's 9 minutes, 20 seconds left in the game. You're the Baltimore Colts. The other team has the ball. They have a good running attack. Gamble. Bring everybody. Take a chance. Make Lomax throw the ball. Hope for a fumble. Disrupt their offense. Don't let them just run the ball on you.
It was 14-10 after the first quarter in favor of the St. Louis Cardinals. As you look at the battle of field goals out there in Los Angeles, and the first time those two teams met in San Francisco, it was a field goal that decided it. Ray Wersching kicked one through. Frank Corral missed one with about 25 seconds. There's the blitz, and you're exactly right. That's what the defense has got to do. Force some kind of a mistake, certainly clog up the middle. You know the Cardinals are going to keep it on the ground, try to keep the clock moving. We started to say it was 14-10 St. Louis after the first quarter. It was 21-10 Cardinals at halftime. Third quarter a standoff, each team with one touchdown, and so far the fourth quarter has been scoreless.
We talked a little bit about Joe Federspiel, who came about a month ago. He played for New Orleans for a while. He's number 50, 10 years out of Kentucky, but they miss Ed Simonini so much in the middle there. He broke his collarbone, tried to come back, hurt it again, and he's really out for the season. Still has a lot of pain in there. So this is a patched up Baltimore defense.
Tilley to the top of your screen. Green to the near side. Morris and O.J. Anderson are your running backs. Lomax to throw it up on 3rd and 12. On the money, Tilley incomplete, and might have been picked off as the Colts had a man back in the vicinity, number 25. That's Nesby Glasgow. The ball went whistling through the hands of Tilley, and Glasgow just wasn't expecting it. Bum Phillips' new team beats Bum Phillips' old team by a field goal. So here are your NFC Western standings. San Francisco 8-3 as they are playing right now in Los Angeles, tied 3-all. Atlanta will host Minnesota tomorrow night.
It's time for Atlanta to do it. They've been faltering the last few weeks when they looked so strong. Last year they looked so good. In the beginning of the year also excellent. Now they've been having their problems. Tomorrow night a big one. Watch out.
They got the kick. No flag on the play. Somehow he managed to get it partially off his foot, and one of the Colts is injured. There is no flag because they
need the break. They put the pressure on it. Burt goes up. Hard to see whether he got part of the ball or not.
Good work by the Baltimore specialty team, setting up the offense in reasonably good field position. The Colts are down by 11. They'll start 1st and 10 from their own 44.
This isn't just my job, it's my life. For me, nothing comes close. Nothing comes close to my skull either. I just take a little pinch and put it between my cheek and gum. Sure feels good. I think going smokeless is the only way to go. And for me, Earl Campbell, this is the only way to spend an afternoon.
Skoal, brother. Enjoy tobacco without lighting up. Try Skoal, Copenhagen, or Happy Days. A pinch is all it takes.
What's happened to service in America? The dictionary says it's the performance of labor for the benefit of another. But Ava says it in 3 words. We try harder, right? It means honoring reservations, giving you their best rates, checking their cars for safety and comfort. You see, Avis believes that you should get good service simply because you paid for it. Trying harder is still the best way to do business.
Later tonight here on CBS, it all starts with 60 Minutes. Then Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke star in Walt Disney's Academy Award-winning hit, Mary Poppins. What a lineup. It's all tonight right here on CBS. 7 minutes, 50 seconds left to go in this football game. The Colts are down by 11, but their specialty teams has just set up the offense in good field position. Slot to the left side, Roger Carr to the near side, Zach Dixon the lone running back, Burt Jones straight drop, lots of pass protection, now can scamper out, man open, Cleveland Franklin incomplete. He started to run with the ball before he caught it. He did not look the ball in, John Dockery. He took off and he might have heard some footsteps.
Cleveland Franklin, free agent 1980. Watch, Burt Jones has plenty of time. Obviously the Cards are downfield trying to cover the receivers, looking for the screen as you see a couple of the defensive linemen running to the left side. Cleveland Franklin just can't hold on to it. Kind of out of position, no body control, and drops the ball.
On a very similar play a couple of weeks ago, on the receiving end of that pass was Curtis Dickey, and that started quite an incident when Burt Jones went over and admonished him on the sideline and stuck his finger almost through the headgear there. 2nd down and 10. Clock, of course, stops on the incompleted pass. Cardinals showing bump and run. Jones on the rifle. He's got his man, Reese McCall, the tight end. 1st down, Baltimore and more as he dives close to the 35-yard line. 1st down, Colts.
Reese McCall, the big man, he needs him now. Got to remember that Dickey and McMillan are both out. He has to go. They're doubling his wide receivers. This time he finds Reese McCall. 4th-year man out of Auburn, makes a good catch between the linebackers. Shows some nifty running here. Lowers his head. Gets a few extra yards.
Thought he was a fullback there.
It's a good thing Lee Nelson got underneath him. He might have been hurt.
This game a long way from being over if the Colts can put this one in. Carr to the near side. Butler open on the left side. They set up the screen, and this time Zach Dixon starts to run without the football, and Burt Jones is back in the backfield just shaking his head.
I'll tell you what, you have to wonder. Poor Burt Jones. I mean, 2 passes dropped. Cleveland Franklin just 2 plays before. Now Zach Dixon, a decent receiver out of the backfield, drops one. And how much would Burt Jones like to have Dickey and McMillan now? Can you see Dickey taking a pass like that and taking it all the way in?
Colts' entire starting backfield is out of there. Zach Dixon now checks out. Curtis Dickey is out with a hip pointer. And Randy McMillan is out with a bruise as well. 22-yard touchdown pass. Dan Pastorini to Wendell Tyler. The Rams have got in front of the San Francisco 49ers 10-3. Dolphins have come back. Tony Nathan, a 4-yard run. They lead the Jets 7-6. Jones, 2nd and 10. Got his man wide open. 1st down and more inside the Cardinal 20-yard line. That's Ray Butler, the 2nd-year receiver from USC. You take another look as if you're the safety man of the St. Louis Cardinals. Good pass protection.
Great play here. He has a man right in his face. Gets rid of the ball for the 1st down. Terrific play by Burt Jones. He's holding his hand. He might have taken a shot. Let's see if he's okay.
Jones getting up very, very slowly, and he let the referee know about it. Raymond Butler from USC. Oakland has just taken the lead 14-7 over San Diego. Jensen, a 2-yard run. Butler to the near side. Pitch back. Reese McCall. Don McCauley inside the 20. down to the 17-yard line. Colts are driving. Time, however, is not their ally right now. Inside 6 minutes as they come right at you.
Big number 79, Randy Van Dier, leading the way for Don McCauley. Not much of a game. Bert's going to have to throw the ball. As you look at McCormick, it's simple as this. Bert's going to have to throw the ball to get it in the end zone. His running backs are gone. He's got two good wide receivers in Carr and Butler. He's got McCall at the tight end. Put it up.
From the 17 of the Cardinals. In the end zone, incomplete.
Trying to use the height of Reese McCall, who at 6 feet 6 inches tall, is probably about 5 inches bigger than the defensive back. Just overthrown. Reese couldn't get to it.
Remember a few years ago, Burt Jones could have put that up to Raymond Chester, a pretty good tight end who played here.
They've had some tight ends here. Remember John Mackey before him, back on the old Super Bowl team.
Ray Chester, by the way, was not a Burt Jones lover. He thought that Burt came in with a reputation of being somewhat spoiled, quite frankly. And it was Raymond Chester who was sent elsewhere, not the now 9-year veteran from LSU, Burt Jones. 5.5 to play in the football game. 28-17. Jones at the control. 3rd and 7. Wide receivers left and right. Did he hang on? He did. A great grab by Ray Butler inside the 10, all the way down at the 8-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. And again, a timing play, John Dockery. Explain the timing.
A communication between receiver and quarterback. He knows Butler's going to cut. He delivers the ball before the cut, knows he's going to be there at 8 yards out. He has pressure. The result, a first down. Beautiful play by... Watch this again. He hasn't even made his cut. The ball is on the way right now. Butler makes his cut, drives the ball really well, makes a nice catch. Perfect timing between quarterback and receiver. Something you can't teach.
Concentration by Butler. He watched the ball in the whole way. 1st and goal, Baltimore at the 8-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. Jones will not waste time. On the post pattern, touchdown! Butler again, and the Colts are within 5.
Again, instinct, chemistry between receiver and quarterback. Butler goes down about 5 steps. The clock in Burt Jones' head is ticking, knows he's going to cut off that right foot. Burt Jones takes a 3-step drop, says, okay, I know he's going to cut now, delivers the ball on the line, touchdown.
How important was that miss Neil O'Donoghue field goal right now? The extra point coming up by Mike Wood can pull Baltimore to within 4.
And we talked about it early, what Baltimore could do with all the adversity. McCormick under fire, being Wood and 10. Would the team lay down, or would they rally behind their coach? They've rallied.
Wood bangs it through, and it's 28-24. Take another look at this touchdown grab from ground level by Ray Butler, and watch how quickly Jones releases. Touchdown, Baltimore, right back in the football game. 5.5 left to play. The Cardinals clinging to a 4-point lead.
A phenomenon that's puzzled me is why some people settle for the ordinary when they could have the extraordinary. Perhaps its cause is simply a lack of knowledge. Fortunately, I've never had that problem. So choosing a home videotape recorder was relatively easy. I chose the Sony Betamax, for when I observed how it performed so many complex technological functions with such ease and simplicity, I no longer saw a machine. I saw genius.
The genius of Betamax, only from Sony.
Prepare yourself for a little shock. This year, many traditional full-size cars are no longer full-size cars. This one is. Marquis from Lincoln Mercury. Marquis gives you all the comfort you need, plus the kind of smooth ride that makes driving a pleasure. Marquis from Lincoln Mercury. Can you see yourself riding in anything less?
Now through the National Championship, NCAA basketball on CBS Sports.
Hey, those 8,000 no-shows that had tickets for this game and didn't show up are missing a heck of a football game. 28-24, the Cardinals are clinging precariously to a 4-point lead. Mike Wood tees it up, high, end-over-end kick. Fielded by Stump Mitchell back at the 8-yard line. To the 20. And down he goes. And you can see the Colts specialty teams, which set up that last touchdown drive, partially blocking that punt, are fired up. and now the Baltimore defense comes out fired up.
Look at Ricky Jones putting his fist up in the air. How would Baltimore like a win after losing 10 straight? Boy, are they hungry for something nice to happen around here.
Cardinals have got to be very careful, John, not to lose their composure now. They've got a 4-point lead. It would take a touchdown by Baltimore to win.
Look at this all-pro spike team. Ray Butler not only catches touchdown, but look at that spike. Whew, give him a 10.
5 minutes, 11 seconds left to go. Pat Tilley comes out wide to the left side. Running backs, Wayne Morris and O.J. Anderson. Cardinals need to use up a little bit of time, work on the clock, pick up some first downs. Colts have to make something happen. O.J. Anderson will do it. Turns the corner. First down, and look out. That's what the Cardinals needed, a little bit better field position. As they scamper around that right end, look at the power sweep, look at the blocking, and look at the explosive running of O.J. Anderson. Right there, what a move.
What a move. He skips outside with great speed, lateral movement. It's just exceptional for a man his size. Lets the defensive back, Derek Hatchett, know that he shouldn't mess with O.J.
First down, St. Louis, working on the clock, trying to keep it on the ground. 5:04. Clock, of course, is stopped as O.J. stepped out of bounds. Tilley comes to the near side. Morris, and again, O.J. Anderson, the running backs. Neil Lomax, the rookie quarterback, gives off. Wayne Morris turned nothing into something. Slithers across the 40-yard line in the vicinity of the 42. Thompson, 99, the rookie from North Carolina, in there on the tackle. Raphael Septien, a 25-yard field goal. The Cowboys sticking it to the Redskins right now, 10-0. Of course, Dallas knows Philadelphia has lost, and if Dallas can win, they'll all be 9-3. And looking at that December 13th shootout down in Dallas, the Eagles and the Cowboys for what many feel will be the NFC Eastern Division Championship.
You know, this is a great spot to be in on defense, Jim. I mean, you have nothing to lose. It's a no-lose situation for the defense. Come after them. You know they're going to run the ball.
Big hole on the right side, and knifing through across the 45 up to the 47. Wayne Morris, Glasgow, in there on the tackle in his third year from Washington. Clock winding down. It'll be about 3.5 when the next play is snapped. This is exactly what the Cardinals wanted to do. But again, the Baltimore defense, John, has got to clog it up on the line. You know either Morris or O.J. Anderson are going to get the ball. You've got to send those linebackers, double team them, key, and come quick.
And you watch number 80 come in, Chris Combs. He's a good blocking tight end. They're telling you right now that they're going to run the ball. What should you do? Come with 8 men. Forget about the pass.
3rd and 1. First down, St. Louis, near midfield.
Morris for the first down at midfield.
That was Wayne Morris. They used O.J. Anderson that time as the decoy. You look at the clock winding down. It'll be about 3 minutes when the next play is snapped. And the Cardinals have a first down, a very important one. Here are some final scores around the NFL today. The Buffalo Bills by a field goal against New England. The New York Jets are losing to the Miami Dolphins. And of course, with Buffalo winning, they up their record to 7-5. Miami was 7-3-1 coming in. The Jets 6-4-1 and have won 6 of their last 7. O.J. Anderson bounces off one tackle. Down he goes. He was caught for a 5-yard loss. He turned it into a 2-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. Anderson now 26 carries, 110 yards on the afternoon. His 18th 100 or more yard gain in 3 years since coming out of the University of Miami. There are your AFC Eastern standings. Buffalo has won.
So Buffalo is now 7-5. That's a mistake.
7-5. Miami was 7-3-1 coming in. The Jets 6-4-1. 222.
And Bubba Green he got some penetration and made that play for Baltimore. They have to do the same thing now. Come get some penetration. Stop O.J. Get that ball back for Burt.
What a hit. Number 88 just wrapped his huge arms, Herb Orvis, around O.J. Anderson. He's in his 10th year out of Colorado, 6'5", 255. Watch the hit he puts on him.
That's the 2-minute warning.
Big Herb plays off the block, comes up right now, hits big O.J.
Interesting, too, John, is that the Cardinals elected to pitch the ball back rather than the safe, conservative handoff. They've got that kind of confidence in the rookie Neil Lomax.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes.
1967, 15 degrees below zero in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Packers trail the Cowboys by 3. The field is a sheet of ice as Bart Starr keeps the ball and sneaks into the end zone for the score. Who made the block that sprung him? Right guard Jerry Kramer against massive Jethro Pugh. The Packers win 21-17 and claim the NFL championship.
Alcoa can't wait.
Since time began, nature has demonstrated the wisdom of recycling. In rain that falls to the earth, travels to the sea, and rises to the clouds again. Now, man must learn to recycle too. At Alcoa, we've already started by initiating programs that are saving billions of aluminum cans every year. Raw materials and energy too. Recycling, we're simply doing what nature has always done.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
2 minutes left in regulation. The Cardinals clinging to that 4-point lead over the Colts, who can't score if they can't get the football back. The executive producer of the NFL Today and NFL Football here on CBS is Terry O'Neill. Senior producer Charles H. Milton III. Today's game produced capably, we might add, by Mr. Bob Rowe and directed by the always inventive Sandy Grossman.
Time for the Baltimore Colt defense to make something happen. You know Burt Jones is hot. He's doing the job on offense. Defense has to get him the ball and give him another chance.
3rd and 3. Cardinals need a first down. The Colts need the football. Gray in motion to the near side. Bootleg. Complete. First down, St. Louis. Great call on 3rd and 3, and this one's not over. Neil Lomax faked the handoff to O.J. Anderson on a power sweep around the left side. Bootlegged out around the right side. Tucked it in and found his tight end, number 89, Greg LaFleur, the rookie out of LSU, all alone in the pocket. He had beaten the linebacker one-on-one. First down, Cardinals to keep the drive alive, and I think John iced this football game.
You have to hand it to Lomax and Hannafin. A little bit of a gamble there, a wise call. It worked. Baltimore, you have to force him to do something like that. There might be a drop ball. You might get a sack. What happened there was Donnell Thompson, number 99, didn't keep containment on Lomax and allowed him to get outside and complete that first down pass.
1:15 left to go in the football game. The Cardinals, should they hang on to win, will up their record to 5-7. And they have won 3 of their last 5. O.J. Anderson bullies his way inside the 15, down near the 10-yard line. And the Baltimore Colts will drop to 1-11. They won their first game. They lost 11 in a row. The Dolphins have just scored a safety. A.J. Dewey tackling Richard Todd in the end zone. And it's now Miami 9, the New York Jets 6. So you can take a look at the standings. In the NFC East first, the Eagles have lost to the New York Giants 20-10 in Philadelphia. So the Eagles are 9-3. The Cowboys are beating Washington. If Dallas wins, they would be 9-3. The Giants still in the playoff picture at 6-6. If the Redskins lose, they would drop to 5-7. Joining the St. Louis Cardinals, who are 53 ticks on the clock away from winning here this afternoon. Now take a look at the AFC East. The Dolphins going in were leading with a record of 7-3-1. Buffalo has won. They're 7-5. The Jets 6-4-1. That game is just a field goal apart though right now. The New England Patriots have lost again. They dropped down to 2-10. Baltimore is 1-11 as the Patriots and the Colts will probably go down to the last couple of weeks to find out who gets that #1 draft pick.
Not much to play for, but certainly can turn a franchise around. You get a player like, Detroit did a couple years ago, Billy Sims, or an O.J. Anderson, or George Rogers. It can turn your franchise around.
Cardinals have 2 timeouts left. The Colts have 2 timeouts remaining. You look at a man you must feel sorry for, Mike McCormick. True professional in every sense of the word. Pitch back to O.J. Anderson. Look out. Touchdown, St. Louis. O.J. Anderson, an 11-yard touchdown run, and the Cardinals go up big. Well, twice on this drive, John Dockery, the Colts had the Cardinals stacked up at 3rd and 1. 3rd and 3, and St. Louis came up with a big play which led to this touchdown drive.
Certainly the big play was Lomax on a little bit of a bootleg and completing the first down pass. Here O.J. looks like maybe some of the Colts don't want to make the tackle. O.J. makes a nice cutback, takes it in for the touchdown, puts St. Louis on top 34-24 with just 48 seconds left. Now it's 35-24. Take another look at O.J. He loves that deep pitch from the eye. And he turns on the speed right there, cuts back, takes it in, makes it look so easy. A little high stepping into the end zone. Flips it over the back.
29 carries, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns for O.J. Anderson this afternoon. 35-24, back to an 11-point St. Louis advantage, which is the way we've played most of the second half. It was that way at the end of the first half, and it looks like that'll be the way it'll wind up. Next Sunday here on CBS, it all starts out, of course, with the NFL Today. Brent Musburger, Irv Cross, Phyllis George, Jimmy the Greek. Then the St. Louis Cardinals and the New England Patriots do battle up at Foxborough, and the Atlanta Falcons against the Houston Oilers. 11:30 Central here on CBS.
There's the man, O.J. along the sidelines, and Jim Hannafin must be delighted. I mean, these are 2 games he's won with his young quarterback. He's getting experience. They're also learning how to win. He's got to feel good about the switch he made from Jim Hart to Neil Lomax, even though there are some tough feelings there. I think it's something that had to be done, a tough decision for a compassionate man like Jim Hannafin, and a tough one for Jim Hart. You hate to see anyone end their career, especially when Hart was having a reasonable year. He's healthy and still feels he can play, but something that had to be done.
Neil O'Donohue slithers one. Dave Shula bobbles it, picks it up at the 12, looks for some blockers, gets a couple, and gets near the 20-yard line. Colts have 40 seconds with which to work. They are down by 11. You know, in talking with Mike McCormick yesterday out at the Colts complex, he pointed to one particular play so early in their season. They were playing the San Diego Chargers, and Jones threw a 47-yard apparent touchdown pass to number 80 Ray Butler that would have given Baltimore a win and evened their record at 2-2. But there was holding called on someone on the offensive line, so instead of being 2-2 and having the momentum of that big win over a definite AFC contender, the Chargers, they dropped to 1-3. And since that time, the mistakes have just magnified themselves, and that's how you get to be 1-10, and in today's case, 1-11. Don McCauley, first down. Baltimore still on his feet up near the 37. Burt Jones asked for timeout. Baltimore has 1 left, and they've got 30 seconds.
Jim, as you say, when the snowball starts to roll down the hill, it's almost impossible to stop. But here, you have to admire the Colts. They didn't lay down against a team that's coming on, the Cardinals. Here, they're still trying. Burt Jones to McCauley, who makes a nice run for the first down. They call a timeout. They haven't given up, and that's a credit to the Colts and also to Mike McCormick.
Well, the Colts, as we pointed out earlier, there was a 50% turnover on their team among the starters from a year ago. They have 12 players with 5 years or less experience and 32 players with 3 years or less experience in this Colts club. Baltimore, as we said, had won 4 of the 7 meetings between these two teams. However, St. Louis had won 3 of the last 4, including the last 2 here in Baltimore. Last year, the Cardinals won it 17-10. Cardinals have got to feel very good, John, coming off that 52-10 shellacking at the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles when they played at home in St. Louis, and they've rebounded with a shutout over Buffalo and this big win over Baltimore here this afternoon. Switching quarterbacks and their defense. You can watch them grow. Their young linebackers coming on, Aarons, Williams, Jr., all coming on to contribute, and I think that's the kind of maturity that will, in a year or 2, make St. Louis a real contender. On the other side of the coin, I think even the frustration here in Baltimore, the expectations going into the year. Last year, the Colts were 7-9. Had they won a few games late in the year, they might have been a playoff team. So I think coming in, the expectations were high that maybe would have a shot in the AFC East. It's all fallen apart, and the frustration has even been greater because of those expectations. 2nd and 10. Jones, safety valve, quick release. Cleveland Franklin's got it up at the 43-yard line. Baltimore's only got 1 timeout left. Colts go to the quick hurry-up offense. Butler wide to the left side. Roger Carr to the near side. They've got to fly somebody down. They've only got 10, 9, 8, 7. Jones straight drop. Cardinals coming. Throws incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 4 seconds to go.
It's really academic now. 4 seconds left. Down by 11 points. 11 straight defeat.
You have to wonder where Burt Jones will be playing quarterback next year. In the option year, there has been some criticism here. I mean, you've got some offensive firepower, as we pointed out, and with a Burt Jones and a Butler, With a Curtis Dickey, you're 11th in your conference in total offense, 13th in rushing, and only 10th in passing. Meanwhile, the Cardinals still very much alive for a wild card playoff spot. And they've got a big game against New England up at Foxborough here on CBS next Sunday. He's got Butler, but that's it. There is no time remaining. The St. Louis Cardinals, for the first time this year, have won on the road. For the first time this year, have won back-to-back victories. After shutting out Buffalo 1 week ago, they come back with a strong performance, 35-24 against the hapless Baltimore Colts, who have now lost 11 games in a row. Now this is Jim Kelly for John Dockery saying so long from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Once again, the final score, the Cardinals 35, the Colts 24. Be sure to be with us on Thanksgiving Day when Walter Payton and those Chicago Bears travel to Dallas to take on Tony Dorsett and the Dallas Cowboys. And again, next Saturday, CBS Sports coverage of NCAA basketball begins with the Michigan Wolverines against the Arkansas Razorbacks. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
This is CBS.